a month or less when you get 4 lines. That's a holiday plan we can all get behind. Visit your local Total Wireless store to switch today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Whether it's the future of college football or my love for the Ryder Cup, it's all found in the Best of the Adam Gold Show podcast, brought to you by Coach Pete at Capital Financial Advisory Group. Visit us at capitalfinancialusa.com.
Shop early, save big, all month long during Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Right now, get select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at just $59.98. Don't wait to save. Shop these deals today, in-store or online, because Lowe's knows deals. Discount taken at time of purchase while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Much drier for it today. Not as humid, feeling pleasant with a high of 68 under mostly sunny skies and a little bit breezy. It's going to be chilly tonight. We're back into the 30s again. Some of our northern counties could see some patchy frost, but from the Triangle area southward, that's less likely. Tomorrow is partly cloudy and cool with a high of just 59.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 254 points to 44,038.
Now it's Walker. Drive through. They score! Net front from Robinson. Walker got it through. He'll turn, drop back, shot. Hill with the save, rebound. They'll score! Yes, Barry, Coat, Kaniemi. Now Martinick will set up a chance of the score. Short-handed. Hammered home by the captain, Jordan Stahl. Now Slavin shot redirected. They'll score. Tyson Jost in his first game with the Canes. Gets it free. Taking a bingo. Jordan Martinick.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. Canes got a win last night.
Let's go.
I'm going to continue talking about this game the way we talked about it yesterday going into the game. Let's not overcomplicate things. Let's keep it simple. That's an old school great win. Just prior to the information age where everything is at your fingertips and you know going into a game, they're this many points of expected goals over the difference between their ice time of left-handed centers and dip-a-da-da-ba-doo. Before all of that, you just looked at a team and you went, are they good? Will my team win? The Canes went on the road to a team they don't see very often. They're going to play them twice in the regular season. The next time's not till over halfway through January. They went to Vegas. It was a good team, and they thoroughly dominated. That's as old school as it gets. You're ahead by 2, make it 4. You get some fortuitous bounces, you take advantage of them. Your goalie plays well, you win the game. It's that simple. They didn't complicate it, right? They played really well from the opening puck drop. They did take advantage of those fortuitous breaks I mentioned. Tyson Jost, he scored a goal that I think Slavin had to tell him, "Hey man, you scored."
It's like, hey, something bit me. Oh, there it is. Puck in the back of the net.
Exactly. Did the net move? I felt something, and then he scored. Jordan Martinick, right? Just doing the Jordan Martinick thing of making everybody work. You're trying to kill a penalty, and he somehow ends up there's a loose puck. Jordan Stahl rips it home. Just doing the right things, being in the right places, seeing each play through, converting. By the way, it had been since at least 2015 that Jordan Stahl had a slap shot goal, like a true slap shot goal. 2015. It's almost a decade ago. But, again, a game where things are going your way, why not try it? And then there's the whole, I mean, everything I'm saying right now could be about the Canes last night, could be about Martin Necas' season. He's just showing up, playing good hockey, being in the right spot, making plays. When he has the opportunity, he's converting, and he has a 10-game point streak. 21st in Canes history to have a 10-game point streak. Rod Brindamore talked about the line of Robinson, Kotkaniemi, and Necas. This is Coach Brindamore from the postgame.
Talk about contributions, right? It's not one guy. All three now are really, I think, dialed in and, really been, I guess, almost our number one line. That's been real positive for us.
Been a real positive, you think? It's at least the Necas part of it, right? Obviously, KK is going to have his backers and detractors until he goes on a Necas style run. But yeah, there's a lot of things going on that are pretty darn good. Pyotr Kochetkov stopped 30 of 32 shots he faced. Wasn't really tested while the lead was being built, but did his job as the night went on. Did give up a garbage time power play, but hey. At one point, I was looking at the stats, right, trying to pay attention to everything going on last night. I think it might have been the end of the first period. It was near the end of the first period. I looked down at the shots on goal stats, and the Vegas had 4, and Kotkaniemi had 4, and there was whatever it was 15 for the Canes overall. But I went, you know what? That's probably a good sign when one of your guys is matching their entire shot. And there was a 2-0 lead, I think, at the time. So it was just things were going well from the beginning. It's a really good, simple, well-played, bounce-back game from a weird game in Colorado. And that is really the only in-depth opinion I have on this game, because I'm not going to look into this any more than we already did. But the game a few nights ago at Colorado, I described it as the movie The Hangover, where starts off you're having a fun time, then there's a portion of the night that disappears from your memory, and then suddenly you're Bradley Cooper rubbing your forehead on the phone like, I don't know what happened. We lost Doug. That's kind of how the Colorado game felt, right? You got ahead by 2, you head into the second period, everyone's having a good time, you're around the craps table, and then bada boom, bada bang, 10 minutes later, you're like, was that Mike Tyson with a tiger? So they had a rough one. Well, guess what? What I didn't know is if we're using the hangover metaphor, Canes are like in the best way possible the annoying morning people on like a Vegas trip, the annoying morning guy. You stay out, like you were drinking with him, you stayed out with him. You know he didn't get to bed till 3:30 in the morning. You wake up at 9. He's already worked out. He's got like a sweaty workout shirt on. He's cleaning the kitchen, and he's like, "All right, man, come on. We got to hit the golf course." It's like, how are you doing that? The Canes bounced back in such a way that I'm like, how are you doing this? So that debacle in the second period against Colorado really just doesn't affect you? You show up the next game in Vegas ready to roll from the moment you wake up? Even though Seth Jarvis isn't playing due to the injury that I didn't see coming. We had an idea that somebody was banged up, maybe Drury, maybe this guy, maybe that guy. It ends up being Seth Jarvis. That right there is a reason to throw off some teams mentally. Obviously, a locker room favorite, Seth Jarvis.
For sure.
Obviously a talent. Like, even if he was the quiet guy that sits in the corner, just missing out on his production, his on-ice ability could be enough to be like, oh, man, this game's going to stink. We don't have Seth. You mix in that you're missing your buddy. You feel for like that's enough to rattle a team. This team is very difficult to rattle. Very difficult to rattle. And all of this is it's good to know about yourself. Because let's be real. At this point in the season, you string together 2 or 3 bad games. It's not the end of the world. They're talented enough. The system is proven enough. Rod Brindamore has proven enough that you'll right the ship with adjustments and the appropriate timed speech, and then you'll bounce back eventually. But knowing that you can do it the way you just did over the last 2 games gives you confidence in a series, right? If it's going on a 2 or 3 game, 4 game kind of rough play streak is not the end of the world in the middle of the regular season. It is the end of your season in the postseason. And the ability to grab yourself out of a bad game and play a really, really good one the next night or 2 nights later, that's the kind of stuff that is really good to know about yourself so you don't panic when you're put in those situations when the stakes are higher.
The new guys are really chipping in a whole lot. We all talk about Jack Roslovic has 9 goals this season. What about Eric Robinson, the guy that we haven't really mentioned a lot?
On that line with Natchez,
Natchez and Kokiniemi.
Which makes you're going to be overshadowed a little bit. But yes, you're right. He deserves to be mentioned.
So since he got put on that line full-time, this is back during the Edmonton game is when he actually got put on that line during the line shuffle. But since then, he's been on a line with Kokiniemi and Natchez full-time. So the last 9 games for Eric Robinson, 4 goals, 3 assists, plus 9. All
4
points
goals,
coming at
3
even
assists,
strength.
plus 9.
Because he doesn't get any power play time.
Pretty darn good.
Yeah, shooting 28.6%, which is bonkers.
Pretty darn good. And we might have to talk about this later, maybe even dive in further over the next couple of days, depending on how long it extends.
Mm-hmm.
But I think in some ways the new guys are performing so well, and Natchez, who is, we'll call him a brand new guy.
New contract, new deal.
Yeah, exactly. Playing so well that maybe there's some production lulls from some of the tried and true, some of the core 4, right? Some production lulls from an Aho, a Seth, Jarvis pre-injury that but Gostisbehere is scoring and Roslovic is scoring and this is happening and that is that we're not noticing. So
Jordan Martinook has 5 goals last 4 games.
It's
all right.
The team isn't struggling, but there are some guys that you would expect them to pick it up at some point, and if they do, and these other new forms of production could be a little bit of a gasoline to a fire situation. Hurricanes won 5-2, by the way. Could have been more. We won't nitpick. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are firmly in massive marquee box office college basketball season. No more tune-ups for Duke. UNC already played Kansas. That's massive. Now Duke is playing Kentucky tonight. And anytime Duke matches up with Kentucky, you know what that atmosphere is going to be like. Let's preview. Let's get to it. It's going to be a celebration of college basketball, and it's not the Duke-Kentucky you're thinking of. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Enjoy a savory sausage McMuffin with a fluffy egg for only $2.50. Be a McDonald's breakfast person. Get the most important deal of the day right after you wake up. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets. And see why. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Terms and conditions apply.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt, and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit can get you up to $500,000 so you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity Line of Credit, you can access access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote, and there's no credit pull, unlike those other guys. Call now, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
If you needed one more reason to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler, get this. Diamonds Direct maintains involvement in the entire diamond process and handpicks the best just for you. You see, any jeweler can claim to be a direct importer or have so-called partnerships overseas, but Diamonds Direct has special access that others simply don't have. Nobody can get closer to the source than Diamonds Direct. Indeed, Diamonds Direct is recognized in the industry as a world diamond powerhouse with unrivaled buying power and decades of inside connections that go back to their roots as actual diamond cutters. Bottom line, Diamonds Direct is without question the jeweler here that can truly offer the absolute best value. Make no mistake, Diamonds Direct refuses to be undersold on GIA certified diamonds. And we challenge you, let us prove it. Diamonds Direct, your source for the ultimate diamond value. Official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics. And proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
To the left to Cooper Flagg. Low with the dribble, into the paint. Cooper left it down low for Malawach. Goes up with the right hand and scores. What a dish inside for Cooper Flagg.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. As I said before the break, anytime Duke, Kentucky, it's going to be a celebration of college basketball, right? You're going to have the highlights that we know so well if you watch college basketball played. You're going to have those conversations. You're going to remember the Leitner and the this and the that and everything else. Duke's playing Kentucky tonight in Atlanta, I believe. So that right there is
in Atlanta.
It's not ideal, but hey. Get the two teams in the same place. I don't care where it is. I want to watch them play. This is not your typical Duke, Kentucky. This specifically is not your I don't know if it's your dad's because you like this is not your big brother's Kentucky. This is not John Calipari, Kentucky. The top 7 scorers, which includes every player averaging double figures through Kentucky's first 2 games, is a junior or a senior. All of them. Junior, like upperclassmen. There was a point in time where if you were at Kentucky and you were a sophomore, you should have your AARP card, or you were a walk-on.
You were old.
you exactly. Why didn't you go into the lottery last year with the rest of everyone going to the NBA? Why are you still here?
You were a disappointment.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you didn't go to the NBA draft.
Or it was like 4 or 5-star freshmen decided to come back for their sophomore year, and then they had a juggernaut 12 super 5-star team because he had last year's recruiting class and this year. It's not that. They have strong veteran college basketball players. Right now, they only have 4. Kentucky only has 4 players that were top 100 recruits in their class. And none of them were higher than 39th. When is the last time Kentucky had 0 5-stars? 0 former 5-stars. That's an interesting beast.
That feels like a trick question.
It does. It's like, actually 4 years ago. It's like COVID times. Weird. Andrew Carr is at Kentucky. Andrew Carr, big man from Wake Forest, hit the transfer portal this offseason. He's at Kentucky now.
Former Blue Hen.
Exactly. No disrespect to my own alma mater, the Delaware Blue Hens. There are very few basketball players that we recruited and got on campus at the University of Delaware who I would have believed could play at Kentucky. Couple of them, maybe role players, maybe end-of-the-bench guys. Hey, depth if you need me. But Andrew Carr is he's gonna be a contributor. If you go to DraftKings Sportsbook right now and look up the player props, he's one of the guys who's getting player props for Kentucky. He's one of the main characters. That's unusual for Kentucky. Go back to when Coach Calipari was fully embracing one and done, right? John Calipari was the slick back hair, the salesman, one of the first coaches to be buzzing around on a private jet. When you take that and think of Coach K, right? This is what Duke and Kentucky were. We're looking at like 15, 20 years ago. And then I told you they're going to match up 15, 20 years into the future. One of them is going to have a handful of transfers brought in to solve a problem like a microwave, right? Just add water and it's always good. One of them, that same team that has the transfers, is going to be depending on freshmen to be their best players in a bunch of different ways. And then the other team is going to have veterans that have played their way around college basketball. They've earned their stripes. They've gotten a ton of experience, and now they're going to try to have a exclamation point of maybe a final year of eligibility. You'd be like, all right, yeah, that makes sense. Duke's the one with all the experience, right? Coach K's the one that has all the 3 and 4 year guys, and Coach Calipari's the crazy one that's only returning 2 players from his season before. It's like, well, no, actually, Coach K's gone. John Calipari's gone. Duke has the 2 players returning. Maybe their three of their 4 best players are freshmen. They brought in a bunch of transfers from all over the country, including the 6th man of the year in the Big Ten, and they're just going to try to just add water and turn this bad boy into a national championship contender. Meanwhile, Kentucky didn't have that ability, didn't have that buzz, didn't have the highest NIL deals out there, and they're the ones putting together the experienced group that hopefully will out-veteran teams. It's a good test for Duke, if we're being honest. Right? Even though the roles feel like they're being played, they're miscast, it's still a good test for Duke. Duke does have vets, and I'm seeing this kind of as one of the things Duke fans are really fighting back against, because the maybe national opinion is, oh, Duke has all these freshmen, and the Duke fans, the Duke analysts are very much, no, we have veterans too, and because you have Sion James, and you have the Syracuse transfer, you have the Purdue transfer, you have all these guys. You have Tyrese Proctor back now for his 3rd year in college basketball. But the movers and the shakers are young. Right? The Con Knipples, the obviously Cooper Flaggs, the Common Malawashes, they're young. And at the end of a game, Tyrese Proctor might bring the ball up court. He might initiate the offense. But what 2 do you think are going to have the ball in their hands, releasing it to potentially win a big game? It's probably Flagg and Knippel. Right? And Common Malawash, I thought it was funny. He was talking to the media about the advice some of the older guys have given him about this Kentucky game. And he was like, well, they told me to rebound everything and dunk everything. That might be a little bit more of a simple game plan. But still, he's going to be the one that has to contest shots. He's going to be the one that has to protect the rim, he and Cooper Flagg, and stay out of foul trouble and have a level head on his shoulders in these games. So it is good for Duke to have those young guys play against a veteran squad. Yes, Duke has their veterans, and I actually think Sion James is going to be deployed in that manner. I think John Shire on the bench, and Sion James is starting off the bench. He's the transfer from, I think it was Tulane. I get Tulane and Tulsa confused. Just they sound similar, but I think it's Tulane. Sion James, I think he's going to be deployed almost as like a sprinkler system. When things are getting too hot, you put Sion James in there, and he's going to be the one to calm it down. He can get a forceful bucket. He can use his strength to kind of settle everything down. Like, they have those options at their disposal. But I want to see how the young guys react when a veteran team is doing all of the veteran tricks. Like, and I know it's not this concrete or tangible. I want to see what they do when a guy that's been around college refs for a long time is tugging their jersey, running around a screen, right? Grabbing their wrist as they go up for a shot because they know the ref's eyes aren't right there. I want to see how they react to that. And again, that's more metaphorical, right? I don't actually want people getting away with fouls. I'm just saying you're going to go up against somebody who's more crafty than you. There's a great article on ESPN.com on Cooper Flagg. on everything and the hype and how it got here and what his parents did and the people that worked with him and the people at the little high school in the town of 3,200 that he grew up in. It's a very, very good good story. You should read it. It's long. One of the best lines I have, and I'm going to use it. It's going to be like a motivational thing. His mom said, "We've always believed that if you're the best guy in the gym, you're in the wrong gym," which was taking Cooper. So they were driving Cooper Flagg to Orono 2 hours away to play pickup against a different team. They were driving him down to Boston to get run against AAU teams that were above his level or to play against guys older. I just like that as a thing for life. If you're the best guy in the gym, you're in the wrong gym. But another thing that pointed out was he's competitive and he's not necessarily – he's more – and I say this without putting one above the other. He's more LeBron than he is MJ. There was a story at an AAU game where, he wasn't scoring a ton, and another team's coach started chirping a little bit. So then Cooper Flagg, the next 3 or 4 times down the court, got 3 or 4 easy buckets for his teammates, 3 or 4 assists, and then he looked at the coach and said, "I don't have to score, I just have to win." That type of play is coaches' dreams. Are made of those types. Like, I'm going to fight back while getting my teammates involved, but also I need him to know, and veteran teams will push him to it, when it is time to go get his own bucket, right? AAU game, you're the best on the court. You're going to go, splash around a little, lay some assists, and then talk trash. Love it. There's going to be a point where it's like, no, just dunk this. Go common Malawash with it. Rebound everything, dunk everything. You're 6'9", and you're the future number 1 pick in the NBA.
Imagine being a coach chirping a player on the other team. Especially him.
I don't want to talk as if I am an expert on this because I haven't spent a lot of time there. I don't think it's as unusual as you would hope it would be on the AAU basketball circuit.
Yeah.
The AAU basketball circuit I don't think is the healthiest place in youth sports right now. I do think there are some coaches that maybe are living out some old dreams from playing, and if they get a good team, watch out.
I had a player, when I was coaching college lacrosse, I had a player chirp at me once. I didn't say anything to this person. I was just like, she came by our bench and just started yapping at me. I said, "Oh, you're talking to me?" I was like, "Oh, I didn't even notice you were there."
Was it like personal, or was it just like, "Come on, coach, your team stinks"?
It was like personal.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh, okay. And
all
then
right. You got like a Gary Payton out there on the women's lacrosse field?
I guess, yeah. I was like, we won by 6, but like.
And not that I remember or anything, but it's a decade later, and we won by 6. Scored twice on her. She couldn't handle our left wing. I don't know the positions in women's lacrosse.
That's fine.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, Duke versus Kentucky tonight. I'm looking for the young guys to learn something.
You can listen to that over on Buzz Sports Radio. 8 o'clock is when pregame starts over on Buzz Sports Radio.
When we come back, we look at college sports. We have a thesis statement. I'll give you the first half of the thesis statement right now. Bowl games don't matter. There is a second half to that thesis statement. Stick around to find out.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk, Panthers Playbook, the Paw Print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Officially a 36-yarder. Jansen snap. Heckers hold. Pinero's kick. It is up, and Eddie wins it for the Panthers in OT.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
The Black Friday sales event is happening right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and the savings are huge. Get $13,000 off any new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn, or take advantage of 0% for 72 months on a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4XE, Chrysler Pacifica 4XE, Dodge Hornet RT, or a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4XE. Awesome choices and savings, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
Oh, the NBA is back, and FanDuel is America's #1 sports book for a reason, because they want you to catch all the action. And right now, FanDuel giving everyone 3 months of NBA League Pass. All you got to do to catch every tip-off, every buzzer beater, every dunk is place any $5 wager on the NBA and get 3 months of NBA League Pass, courtesy of FanDuel and me. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold and make every moment more this season with FanDuel. FanDuel.com/Adam Gold. Make every moment more. FanDuel is the official sportsbook partner of the NBA. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. After a 3-month free trial, the full price of League Pass will be automatically charged monthly. Cancel anytime. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Limit 1 pass per customer. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Veterans Day sale, save 40% on the Sleep Number Special Edition Smart Bed, plus free home delivery with any base. Ends Monday. To learn more, go to sleepnumber.com.
FX presents American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez.
Football is all I got. Everything's okay when I'm playing ball.
You can't make mistakes, Aaron. People are watching you.
From executive producer Ryan Murphy.
Is there something that you want to tell me?
You don't know what kind of thoughts I have.
Aaron! FX's American Sports Story, Aaron Hernandez. All new Tuesdays on FX. Stream on Hulu.
Warm up your holidays with JCPenney. From snuggly soft women's sweaters just $19.99 to festive family PJs now 40% off. Get ready for winter with all the comfy, feel-good layers you love. Wrap yourself in a warm faux mink throw, only $24.99. It's more cozy, bigger savings for you. JCPenney. Make it count. Offers valid on select styles through 11/21. Deals excluded from coupons. See store or jcp.com for details.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Bowl games don't matter. It's what we've heard a lot of. Today's thesis statement is going to look at just that. Thesis statement, relatively new segment, a little school related, so we're talking college sports. Hope you see what we did there. I make a statement, a thesis statement, if you will, and then I work hard to defend it. Defend my thesis. The statement for today is bowl games don't matter, but bowl eligibility does. Bowl games don't matter, but bowl eligibility does. And it matters in a big way, which is also my way of saying, hey, NC State and UNC, make sure you find one more win wherever you can. Don't think, oh, you know, what's the difference between 5 and 6 wins? We're not in the college football playoff. We're not going to make the ACC championship anyway. Who cares? Even if we make a bowl, everybody's going to opt out. That's not the case. Well, that might be the case, but that's not the point. First, let's hear from Mack Brown, the head coach of the North Carolina Tar Heels, on being within one win of bowl eligibility.
We feel like we have a chance to win the last 3 games, and the way college football is, as crazy it is, we obviously have a chance to lose it. We could have won 7 or 9 as easy as we could have won 5. And I put that on our coaches. I've told them that. I said that's it. Coaches can put it on players. Coaches are supposed to get the players motivated and ready to play. That's our jobs. So we never put it back on the players. But we're planning on winning every one of them, and we're planning on going to a bowl.
Going to a bowl used to be everything. Not even that, like, when I played, my friends, my family that were in FBS, you went to a bowl game, you got gifts. It was a big deal. It was usually a nationally televised game. It was in a cool place maybe. It was a big deal. Now the game, the week, you might still get a gift. You might get a gift card, but you're getting NIL money, so it's less exciting. The status still matters, though. It matters in 2 ways. I consider it like this. I consider it like the Pro Bowl. You may be like, Pro Bowl doesn't matter. That game stinks. They don't even play it anymore. They're playing dodgeball. Yep, that's 100% true. Playing in the game doesn't matter. The stats don't matter. Who's the all-time leading receiver in Pro Bowl history? I don't know. Could be anyone. Could be you. You could be listening to this right now. Be the all-time leading Pro Bowl receiver stat person, and we wouldn't care. We'd care about what got you to the Pro Bowl. See what I'm doing there? When you go into the Hall of Fame, what do they say? 4-time All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, member of the All-Decade team of the 1990s. 10 years into the future after you retire, you're going on a radio show like this one. What do I say? Coming up next, we have a 7-time Pro Bowler, member of the all-time record holder in the It's part of your legacy. Same is true about making a bowl game. I don't care if you win the Beef O'Brady's Bowl, but when a coach is recruiting, hey, we made a bowl in 9 of the last 10 years. Before I showed up on campus, hadn't been to a bowl in 6 years. Made it to a bowl in 3 of my first 4. Oh, wow, that's pretty good. When you're recruiting against a team, hey, just so you know, they haven't been to a bowl since 1996. Whatever it is, the bowl stats matter. It's a threshold of the good and the bad.
It's a mark of, okay, were you at least 500 or better?
Are you going to win games?
Yeah, that's it. It's like, you've gone to 10 straight bowl games? Okay, you have a pretty decent program.
Exactly. It's the mark of at least a pretty decent program, and then everything you add on top of it makes it the more. It's again same like Pro Bowl. I just listened to a podcast with Jason Kelsey, and Jason Kelsey was talking about, I don't know if this is the one that was on the Steelers, Marquise Pouncey.
Yes.
Okay, he just has a twin. One was with the Dolphins, one was with the Steelers. But he's talking about Marquise Pouncey, and he said he's the most decorated center of my era. This is Kelsey talking, who's a 5-time All-Pro. And he said, he went to the Pro Bowl every year. I looked it up, missed one. But he had a 10-year career, went to 9 Pro Bowls. I think the one he missed was due to injury. And that's how Jason Kelsey was trying to show somebody was significant, was trying to show somebody else was very good. Same is true about bowl games. The other thing is the extra practice and the timeline of it. Coaches have always wanted to make the bowl game, maybe more so than getting the opportunity to go down to Birmingham and win the Birmingham Bowl, or the opportunity to play on the infield at Yankee Stadium in the Pinstripes Bowl. Maybe more so than playing in the game. They wanted the extra practice, right? You get a bowl game that's 3 weeks after your regular season finishes. That's 3 weeks more you can practice with guys that will be back next year. It's like an extra spring ball, like a whole other brand new spring ball. And that's still the case. You get a bowl game, you get to keep practicing, get to keep wearing pads. You don't make it to a bowl game, regular season is over, turn your pads in. But now it's even more important. UNC, NC State, make a bowl. Because guess what? We'll just use 2 examples. C.J. Bailey at NC State and Banfield, the offensive lineman for UNC. They are 2, and this is not an exaggeration, of the top 10 highest graded true freshmen in the country. That's pretty good. That's a feather in the cap of the recruiters. Neither of them were 5 stars, right? They were diamonds in the rough that they discovered, developed, played, now they're playing well. So the quarterback at NC State and offensive lineman at UNC are both one of the highest graded players in their class. They also both play positions that every other Power 5 team would love to have. You can't have too many. So, transfer portal becomes a thing. You have a freshman that plays great, you want to keep them. Making a bowl game helps you keep them, and not because they're so excited to go to the Pop-Tarts Bowl. It helps you keep them because the transfer portal window this year has been shortened. It is 20 days starting the day they reveal the field for the college football playoff. That is scheduled to be December 9th this year. So the transfer portal, you can put your name in the portal to leave between December 9th and December 28th. Bowl season this year for non-CFP bowls, not college football playoff bowls. I put them in your own category. If you're playing for a national championship, none of this applies to you. But the non-CFP bowl season starts December 14th with the Cricket Celebration Bowl.
Oh, there you go.
And ends with the Bahamas Bowl on January 4th. Just by making the earliest bowl, you go a week into the transfer bowl or the transfer window. And I know that's not stopping guys. People can still go into the portal. People, hey, just because you have a bowl game tomorrow doesn't mean you can't go into the portal today. But correct me if I'm wrong on this. Just from a human nature standpoint, I think it's harder to tell coach you're transferring in person. If there's a coach you like, a coach you respect, a coach who's run the program well, I think it's harder to say like, hey, coach, before practice, can I meet with you? I want to go in the transfer portal. That's harder than, well, I haven't seen you in a week. It's 4 days before Christmas. I've been talking with my family and everyone back home that's telling me there's brighter horizons somewhere else. The grass is greener. I've worked myself up into it. Now I'm going to give you a call on December 21st and say, coach, I'm out. I think that's easier. Making a bowl game just makes it a slightly more difficult thing to say. It's it's tougher to execute going in the portal. If you're around them, you're practicing, you're getting better, you're getting reps, you're watching film rather than into your regular season. All right, well, everybody take your couple of weeks. We'll be back for winter conditioning, right after the new year. Like that is a different beast. So NC State, UNC, there's a good chance if you make a bowl, bunch of guys opt out, right? Everyone with eligibility exhausted that's trying to go play in the NFL is like, thanks, but no thanks. And you might have a skeleton crew out there and you might get beat by 30. And you might be sitting there saying, why did we sign up? Why did we want this? And I'll be going, well, because you don't know the good it did behind the scenes. And you get the gold star of being a good program.
I think it's really what it boils down to. It's just the fact that, hey, we go to bowl games every year. Okay, it means you're a winning team, a winning program. Yes. Now, again, it might be 7-5, might be 8-4, but winning is winning.
Winning more than you're losing, or at least 6-6, and not losing more than you're winning.
Exactly.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the Thesis Statement. This next one, you could call this next one. We'll keep in vibe with the Thesis Statement. The rubric, the answer key, the grading, some kind, the GPA. This is a question that I'm not even sure I have the perfect answer to, but I'm going to try. That's not something you hear in our business very often. Most people I know exactly what's going on. What is the bar? What is the pass-fail? What is the everything above this line is success, everything below this line is disappointment for Cooper Flagg at Duke? What is the bar? What is the pass-fail for Cooper Flagg in what will surely be half a year as a Duke Blue Devil? Because it's not as simple as it is for a lot of the top superstar recruits that we see, right? Most, especially perimeter players. If you're the number one recruit, it's simple. Lead your team in scoring, put together a couple highlights, win a bunch of games, boom, success. But guess what? I don't think Cooper Flagg is going to, and I don't think he has to lead Duke in scoring. think that'll probably be Con Knipple. Also, Duke's going to win a bunch of games because of him, but also the talent around him, right? They're very, very good. So if that's already happening, how do you measure success for one of the more unique prospects that I can remember coming into college sports? This is a guy, this is a guy that was 2 points away from pulling off an upset, granted in a scrimmage, against the Olympic team, and he was the guy kind of leading the way. There's, again, article on ESPN.com. I talked about it earlier. They take you step by step through the final possessions of that scrimmage where they lost by 2, and he was the one. He scored 6 straight points in like 30 seconds against the U.S. Olympic team. We're talking LeBron and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, and yes, you may say it was just a scrimmage. Were they really trying? Maybe not, but also I know they're the most competitive people in the world, and they probably didn't love seeing a 17-year-old give them buckets.
Exactly. No, this kid? Nuh-uh. Mm-mm.
This 6'9", 140 pounds over here, not going to do – and then he did. It can't just be an eye test thing, which is what I think people want to lean on. Right? I want it to be more tangible, more objective rather than subjective. But I don't know what the threshold is. I don't think he averages 20 points per game this year. I don't think he needs to. I don't think he's going to try to.
I think he's like a 16
guy. I think there's a good chance he doesn't average a double-double even, because there's going to be Malawash, there's going to be Brown, there's going to be these other guys that are more inclined to grab rebounds. I think he'll be 8, right? And a hard-earned 8 and a effective 8. And when he grabs those 8 rebounds, especially if they're on defense, he'll push the rock and he can turn it into something else. But I don't want to sit here and say, hey, if he's not 20 and 10, that's a disappointment. DeAndre Ayton, when he went to Arizona, if he wasn't 20 and 10, that would have been a disappointment, right? Because that's the type of player he is. Cooper Flagg isn't that way. And it can't just be like, oh, as long as he's the number 1 overall pick, it's a good season. Maybe that's an individual thing for him, but as far as the success for his college basketball season, he could underwhelm and still be number 1 overall. Andrew Wiggins didn't go bananas at Kansas, 17-6-1. Lost in the second round of the NCAA tournament. Number 1 overall pick. Because he was such a big prospect. He was the Maple Mamba. He was that guy going into college. And oh, by the way, that team that lost in the second round, Embiid was on it. I don't know if he was playing at the end of the season because he seemed like he was hurt a lot. But they had Wiggins and Embiid. It's crazy.
Oh, Embiid going out in the second round. Who would have thought?
I don't know if he was playing on that, but that's a discussion for another day. Anthony Edwards didn't crush it at Georgia, ended up the number 1 overall pick. My point is, that's not a good measure. So how do we do it? I've come up with two things, 2 ways. One, I think we can do the comparison thing a little bit. Look at somebody like Paolo Banchero. Look at somebody like Zion, look at somebody like Ben Simmons, and look at what they did in their 1 years where they came in as very heralded prospects and went on to be number 1 overall picks. What did they do in the interim? And then you can compare Cooper, how he did to those players. Paolo Banchero, 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. I'd say if Flagg beats him in 4 out of those 5 statistics, pick your one that you don't, and I think that's a success, right? Because Paolo Banchero was great. He was really good at Duke. He led a very good team. I don't think he was generational in his 1 year in college. It's actually more impressive in the NBA now. Really, when healthy, kicking tail for Orlando. Zion was 22.5, 9 rebounds, 22.5 scoring, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, 2 steals. Maybe 3 of the 5. If you beat Zion in 3 of the 5, Ben Simmons had a crazy season. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal. 3 out of the 5? What could the bar be for somebody who has this kind of hype? Could it be a team success thing? I'm curious about that. Because I have a hard time looking at like Kevin Durant's freshman season and saying that was a disappointment when he scored 1 billion points, grabbed 1 billion rebounds, but Texas was not a deep run into the NCAA tournament. I think if it were series, if you're playing 7-game series, then I would be more comfortable saying you need to have team success. But in a one-and-done situation, there's so much that can break your way or not break your way. So one is the comparison thing. I think you pick the players who are known for impacting the game in multiple ways, because that's what Cooper Flagg's thing is. And the other is, I do think it has to be a big games thing. I think he has the ability and he has the opportunity, and he might choose to do it occasionally. The team might choose to do it occasionally, to put up some really, really bonkers empty stats. I could see him having like a 24, 16, 9, 6, and 5 game, and they could win by 30, and he probably shouldn't have played the last 10 minutes. Like, he could go get some ridiculous empty stat games if he wanted to.
Have those stat games.
Because he's an overall, that's kind of his thing. He does a little bit of everything very, very well. I think in order for Cooper Flagg to have a successful, I would even call it a stop, like a hesitation in college basketball.
Not even a cup of coffee.
He accelerated. He didn't do his senior year in high school. He accelerated out of high school. He's going to just kind of slow down at the toll booth in college and go right to the NBA. But in order for that slow down at the toll booth in college to be successful, I think he needs 1 or 2 moments against UNC. I think he needs 1 or 2 moments in high leverage, raucous environments in somebody's away gym. Go back and watch. Go watch the Peach Jam stuff. Go watch really anytime the stuff he's put on the floor so far with Duke. He is an intense individual. He is somebody who, it appears, right, and we're going to see how this pans out, it appears thrives on the trash talk, right? Likes to rile it up. If you don't think he's very good, not only does he want to score on you, he wants to dunk on you. Not only does he, again, I keep coming back to this article. Apparently the guy, he's 17 years old, used to wear out DVDs of the 1986 Celtics and watching Larry Bird. He's from New England. His mom and dad both played college basketball. They were massive Larry Bird fans, and so they got him the DVDs, and he would just wear them out, back of the car, mini DVD player, watching Larry Bird. And I don't think he's lost track of the legends of Larry Bird with the whole walking into the three-point contest, which one of y'all is going to get second, the random games in the NBA where I'm just going to shoot left-handed just to show you that I'm better than you left-handed. He has some of that in him. And in order for that to work, in order to pull that off, you can't just do that kind of stuff against I'm trying not to insult any university, against Southwestern, Central, North Louisiana. You also have to do it against UNC, against NC State, in their place, against Kentucky in your third career game like they're playing tonight, against Arizona next week, against Kansas, the number 1 team in the country. Challenge Hunter Dickinson at the line, or at the rim. I think he needs to be the best player on the court, not just in the abstract sense of the most talented. I think he needs to be the most productive and make the biggest plays in big games. If he does that, I think we can agree that he had a successful season. But actually, this is a good question for all of you as well, because I'm fine. There's going to be hate for Cooper Flagg, right? It's just,
oh yeah,
and there's going to be hate for Con Knipple. They just fit the role at Duke that people love to hate. They knew that when they committed to Duke, so it's not a surprise. It is a occupational hazard of playing for the Blue Devils and choosing to go there as the recruits that they were. I'm fine with you saying someone didn't live up to, or the hype was too high for, or that guy's not as good as everybody says, as long as ahead of time you kind of set your parameters. We do this with Bryce Young, because I got the feeling that some Panthers fans out there, no matter what Bryce Young did, it wasn't going to be good enough for them. So I started saying, no, tell me, what do you want to see? I don't care I don't care if you say he has to have a 105 passer rating every game from here on out. Say it so at least he has a chance to make you happy. Right? Because if you're just sitting there saying, well, he has to be better, and then he comes out and has a great game, then you're like, well, he he didn't complete that one third down, so he's no good. And it's like he went 9 of 10 on third down. What are we doing? Like, set your parameters early. Do the same for Cooper Flagg. Then hate all you want, right? If you say he has to average 20 and 10 and it's 18 and 9, then you're like, no, I said before the season he had to put up 20 and 10. And I'll go, okay, fair. But what I don't want to have happen is you sitting here thinking right now, if he puts up 20 and 10, that's a really good season. Then he puts up 24 and 12, and you just don't like the guy. So now he didn't have enough assists. And I'm going like, don't move the goalposts. I think he needs to I'm setting it as this. I'm picking Ben Simmons. No, let me pick a Duke guy. I'm picking Paolo Banchero.
Okay.
17-8, meaning 17 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, 1 steal. He needs to be better than Paolo in 4 of the 5.
Okay.
If he's better than Paolo in 4 of the 5, again, barring injury or something crazy, better than Paolo in 4 of the 5, I think this season is a success.
As long as he doesn't cramp up. Yeah.
He probably will. He probably will.
By the way,
and then you're going to have John Shire just heated.
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm disappointed tonight's game between Duke and Kentucky is not played at Rupp Arena or at Cameron Indoor. I hate that it's played in Atlanta. Like, what does Atlanta have to do with either of these two
Especially
places?
because we just watched UNC go to Allen Fieldhouse.
Yes.
And it was non-conference great basketball in a college arena that is known as a college arena.
Yes.
And then Kansas is coming to the Dean Smith Center next year.
Yeah, next year.
Next year, which is those home and homes are just awesome. Arizona did one with Duke. So,
yes.
Duke's not afraid of them, but the I don't know, the third parties, random spots in Atlanta.
Yeah, like what does Atlanta have to do with this matchup? Nothing.
That game will not mean more anywhere else in the country than it would right here in the Triangle.
Yep.
Or in Lexington, Kentucky.
Agreed.
Home and home. Give you one to each. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of home, Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation. Take a look around at your home right now. The cold weather is coming. If you're like me, it's actually kind of hilarious because certain days of the week, it's my day to get our toddler dressed. I swear to you, no matter how I dress him, because I'm not a big check the weather before I head downstairs person, no matter how I dress him, not appropriate. I'm like, all right, yesterday was freezing cold outside. Let's throw some sweatpants and a sweatshirt and let's roll. You want your Mickey sweatshirt? Cool. Mickey Mouse. Let's do it. Then we go downstairs and my wife's like, it's supposed to be 87 today. I'm like, all right, let's go back up. Shorts and a T-shirt. Gotcha. And then the next day, all right, it was 87 yesterday. Short sleeve T-shirt. Walk downstairs. It's going to snow. I'm like, what is going on here? That same thing is what your windows are saying. What is going on here? It's windy this day. It's raining that day. It's cold. It's this. It's that. And all of those changing temperatures, all of those changing environments, the elements, they put a stress on your window that if it's not made of the top quality like a Window Nation window is, installed by the best installers like a Window Nation window is, if it's just the windows came with the house, you want to check up on them, right? Because all of that changing weather that we get here in North Carolina, the seasons can really put a tax on them. And if there's caulking that's cracking, if there's sealants that's not working, if maybe the wood or multi-use materials are not doing what they should, you might be paying to cool and heat the outside, which is expensive. So when you run your air conditioner or your heater, you're really just throwing money out the window until you call Window Nation. And right now, Window Nation wants to help you out. 50% off all window styles, plus 0% interest for 60 months. 50% off all window styles, 0% interest for 60 months. 60 months is the word I was trying to say. And a lifetime warranty, which is pretty awesome. Get a free no-obligation quote now to start saving you money on your energy bill. 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or visit windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, football at 4. I have a question for Dave Canales on the bye week that we can really sink our teeth into. Yes, it's a quarterback question. Stick around.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Jordan Moore delivers, and the Blue Devils have the lead.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford and by Amedios.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
What if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment? Hey, it's Dennis Cox. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low fives, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity line of credit. So call now. Get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com, free rate quote now, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, on approved credit, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Reason number 52 to choose Diamonds Direct over any other jeweler. Only Diamonds Direct gives you a 110% diamond upgrade guarantee. Let us explain. If you buy a diamond at Diamonds Direct today and decide in the future you want to upgrade to a larger diamond, Diamonds Direct will give you 110% of your original purchase price toward the new stone. For example, let's say you bought her a $5,000 diamond last year, but now she wants to upgrade to a $6,000 diamond. Diamonds Direct will give you $5,500 toward the new one. That's 10% more than you paid the first time. Guaranteed appreciation. Whether that first diamond was $3,000 or $30,000, you get 10% more. Who else does this? And unlike other stores who claim to offer diamond upgrades, at Diamonds Direct, there's no fine print and no minimum purchase requirement. It's 10% more, period. Come and discover real value and buy with confidence. Official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics, and proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Our humidity has dropped. Our temperatures are mild. We'll see a high of 68 degrees this afternoon. Lots of sunshine and a little bit breezy. Pretty chilly tonight. We dip back into the 30s for the first time in a while. Our northern counties could see some patchy frost. For tomorrow, partly cloudy skies and feeling chilly with a high of just 59.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 382 points to 43,910. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4 today presented by Wake Med. Shout out to them for allowing me to ask a question that I've been asking quite a bit recently. Hey, Dave Canales, head coach, Carolina Panthers. Why won't you name Bryce Young the starter? It's a simple, yep. Bryce is going to be starting next week. 2 weeks from now. You get a bye week. It's a simple, the guy that has us on our first 2-game winning streak in 2 years is going to go for 3 against the defending world champion Kansas City Chiefs. That's it.
I
feel
great about playing football right now.
You darn right you do. But you can't right now because nobody knows who your starting quarterback is. Give us the coach speak. Say right now he's our starter. That way, if you want to change tomorrow, you go, if you read back the court reportings, you will see I did not perjure myself. I said right then he was the starting quarterback. I said nothing about the next day he's our starting quarterback. I have asked this question 100 times. I have not been given a good answer. I've been given answers. I have not been given good answers. Why won't Dave Canales just say Bryce Young is the starter? I've been racking my brain. And before we get to the reasons that I've been given from you, there's one that popped into my head this morning, and it might be the scariest of the bunch. I am worried that he might not be allowed to make the decision and say it publicly without approval.
Ooh.
And this is not a Dan Morgan thing.
Yeah.
This is a David Tepper thing.
Yeah. Ooh. You know what? That had not crossed my mind.
It hadn't until this morning. I was going in because Dave Canales, for all Dave Canales is, right? The wildly chipper, overexcited, optimistic. Baker Mayfield called him the optimist bully.
Yep.
For all of that he is, he doesn't strike me as a. He actually strikes me mostly as a straight shooter, right? I think he does usually. The answers he gives are usually honest. Sometimes I think he gets caught in coach speak thinking this is what he's supposed to say, but I don't think there's any nefarious intent where he's trying to throw us off the scent. He doesn't strike me as like a lack of socially aware guy. You know what I mean? I think it would be ridiculous if he's sitting there thinking they really don't know who I'm going to name the starter. Right? If he's looking at us, the media, us, the fans, if he's looking at the Chiefs and going, I know it. They don't know what I'm going to do next. Like, we all know what you're going to name Bryce Young the starter. We know what you're going to do. But maybe he's like, yeah, I know you know. I know you know. We all know what's going to happen here. I'm just not allowed to tell you. Yeah, here you go. We're going to get all the information. Let me come up with some other ridiculous reason why I'm not going to tell you now. And then I can go back to him and we can talk and we can pretend like it was his idea to start Bryce Young. Then I'll come out on Wednesday and I'll be able to pass it along to you. It's not the craziest conspiracy theory I've heard. It's not. It kind of reminds me of, like, have you ever been in the know on a surprise party? And had the person who you're throwing the surprise party for, like, look you dead in the eye and just ask, are they throwing a surprise party for me tomorrow? And you have to go like, no, what? Huh?
What are you talking about?
Surprise party? Weird. They know, that they, like, everyone in that conversation is, they figured it out, right? They saw the Evite or something. Like, they know what's going on here. You know it, but you just have to play the role because you're not allowed to be the one to say it. That kind of is the vibe I'm getting here, where it's like, Dave Canales, will you start Bryce Young, the guy that was turnover free and had a game-winning drive two games ago and did enough to win the game and is growing with these young receivers and showing confidence and progressing every single day. Are you going to go with that guy starting next year or the 37-year-old journeyman that's not under contract beyond this season? And he's like, surprise party? I don't know. You don't have plans tomorrow afternoon around 2? Yeah, I'm busy. I won't be with you. I definitely won't be at your house when you get back from the gym. Yeah, everybody's in the know. Let me debunk some of the others that I've heard. There is no competitive advantage. This is the one I hear most often. The next team is going to have to prepare for both Andy Dalton and Bryce Young. No. They're not changing the plays. They're not like if you had a guy that ran a 4.40 maybe, but these are NFL teams. They're not going to change everything they do because you're starting Andy Dalton or Bryce Young. And they're not going to assume that it's Andy Dalton. If they were very different game plans, they're planning for Bryce Young. Could it possibly, this was one that was brought up by the caller yesterday, and I thought it was interesting.
Okay. Could
it possibly be an advantage for Bryce mentally that he isn't named the starter? Right? Because he is improving. He is gaining his confidence week over week. Is Dave Canales not naming the starter the reason why Bryce is playing that way?
Like, hey, Bryce still has to feel I have to keep earning this every week.
Exactly.
Okay.
And also maybe doesn't feel the weight of I am the franchise quarterback again on his shoulders.
Okay.
He's still just a guy in a competition. He's not the future of everything.
All right, I see that.
I hate that if it's true.
Yeah, I understand. I understand the logic.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
It
might be true. If Dave Canales is seriously looking at Bryce Young and saying he won't react well to being named the starter, either he won't be fighting as hard to prove himself every week or the pressure will become too much for him, cut him. I mean, like if
alarms.
If that's the thing, like we got bigger problems here than why Dave Canales won't name the starter. You got bigger problems in your entire locker room. I would hate that if it's true, but I want to open the door to the 1% of 1% that it might be true. And credit the caller from yesterday for having the creative thinking, because that wasn't something that I had popped up in my brain as of yet. The last point I want to make is, and I'm not going to play the audio for you. We did it last week, and I'm not going to do the whole thing over again. Dave Canales does these shout-outs in the post-game locker room. Players, they do allow, obviously, the social media team to record it, but not at the podium. In the locker room, he has a little index card, and he reads off some stats, and he gets the team. It's like 3 cheers for Chuba, only it's like Chuba had 150-some yards. Yay! DJ Wanham had a tackle or a sack. Woo! Second straight week they didn't mention Bryce or anything in the pass game. Well, Jatavian Sanders they did, but not the passer, I guess I should say. That's weird to me. It's weird to me. And it's the quarterback, first of all. I'll actually tell a quick story here. Do you know who Tom Flick is?
Tom Flick?
Nobody does. But he was a quarterback at Washington, the Huskies, in maybe the 80s, 70s. But he became a motivational speaker, and he actually spoke at my dad's company a few times. And Tom Flick, one of the things that he would say is he was a backup quarterback in the NFL for a handful of years. And he's like, I get so many game balls. Like starting linebackers don't have as many game balls as I have, because anytime a quarterback is put in the starting lineup and you win, the coach gives you a game ball. Like it's just, even if you threw no touchdowns, you threw for 110 yards, you got a game ball because like the quarterback found a way to win. And he's like, to be a linebacker to get a game ball, you have to get like 10 tackles and an interception. Quarterback, you put in the starting lineup, unless you're Dan Fouts, like you get to be the guy that everyone celebrates. For some reason, the Panthers don't do that unless it's Andy Dalton. For some reason, Bryce Young went through everything he went through over the first, 7 weeks of the season. He was put back in. He ended up winning back-to-back games, and they don't even acknowledge it in the locker room. Walk out to the press conference. He was very complimentary, so I'll give him that. Am I coddling Bryce?
Maybe.
That was one I heard on Twitter, and rocked me a little bit, right? Because you need him to be praised. You need him to get the shout out. Why are you coddling Bryce? Which I hear, and I'm not saying it's wrong. Maybe I'm a little too sensitive to quarterbacks that have been benched because I've been there. Not fun. Not in the NFL, in the FCS level. Not fun. But I think it's the opposite. I think by calling him out, by praising him, by saying his name, make that the new standard, right? I think by saying, hey, Jatavian Sanders caught his first touchdown today. Here's a cheer. Here's a hip, hip, hooray for Jatavian Sanders. What you're also saying is, we don't do this next time, right? What you're also saying is, that first touchdown, you only get the first touchdown cheer once. Hey, Bryce Young, game-winning drive, coming off from the being benched earlier this year. Heck of a job. What you're also saying is next week we expect it, right? What you're also saying is you only get the first cheer one time. Call attention to it and make that the new standard. Ignoring it is like, now next week, what if he throws for 300 yards? I don't know. It's. I don't think brushing accomplishments under the deal is, or under the rug is the word I'm looking for, is the opposite of coddling. I think that's the most coddling. That's like, we'll just let you, we'll let you do you in the corner. No one will pay attention. You do you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, the caller that you mentioned about, maybe Dave hasn't announced it because it's working. Yeah. Stanky on URG Live. He's like, hey, I was the caller yesterday. He said, I think it's not that it's the pressure that's getting to him that's making him play bad. It's giving Bryce something to fight for. It's not letting Bryce get comfortable. That's the issue. I've got this. I can relax.
What is it going to be, 20 games from now? He'll be going into his 22nd consecutive start, and you're still going to be going like, we drafted that guy in the 6th round. He might be coming for your job just to keep him on his toes. Like, I don't know. Did Nick Saban constantly threaten him to be benched the on your toes element, the pressure element, the like, hey, someone's coming for you. That's competition, right? Every game you have to go out there and win. If it might be true, by the way, I'm not saying Stanky is his name. I'm not saying Stanky is wrong. I'm saying if that's true, that is something that is inherently an issue in the makeup of the quarterback.
I will say this, though. Having been benched for Bryce, he should not be comfortable at all.
Ever.
He should not be like, no, I don't want that feeling ever again.
Go throw for 35 touchdowns, and then maybe we'll give you a little bit more leash. Like it's definitely 2 wins, one of which you threw for 126 yards, one of which you threw 2 picks. Granted, maybe not your fault. Those are not. Now I'm good. If he names me the starter, now I'm chilling. That's not that at all. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have our ladder challenge coming up in a second, but first, Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group. I like to ask these questions every now and then, just to spot check where you are with your retirement. Do you know how much you're spending on commissions each year out of your retirement account? Do you know the approximate amount of risk you're taking, or how many fees you're paying out of your retirement account and the investments there within? Now, if you're sitting there going, yeah, I think so. It's in that folder. Where's that folder? That's not knowing it enough. If you were somebody that's like, yep, all right, cool, you're probably taken care of. You still want to get the second opinion from Capital Financial, but you're probably someone that's very much on top of it. If you don't know, if you don't have those answers locked and loaded on quick recall, you're going to want to call Capital Financial Advisory Group and Coach Pete. Have them do the 22-step behind-the-scenes process to get your retirement account customized exactly the way you want it. The exact amount of risk you're comfortable with. The exact amount of lifestyle, right, that you're looking for in retirement. The time that you want to flip on that income switch. Everything. The commissions, the fees. You just want to be aware, okay? And Coach Pete does it pretty darn well. Gives you all the details up front, no surprises. And they do it pretty well delivered. Coach Pete, he's a communicator. He's a multiple-time best-selling author. He hosts 3 national radio shows, and he wants to help you out. So right now, give him a call, 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Or you can visit them, you can text them as well. Just text my name, Tim, to 600-700. If they know that we sent you, so if you call and say, hey, Tim from 99.9 The Fan sent me, or if you text, they know just by you sending my name. Not only will you get the complete and total retirement plan, you'll also get 7 Baby Steps, the box set, for free. Trying to hook you up here. Ladder challenge is coming up next. I'm back on a roll. I'm seeing the field well, and I have my pick for today coming up.
Move your sports day forward.
The Panthers, yes, are back in business at 3-7. I'm not sure if it's back in business, but I would say that if the street was closed out in front of the Panthers and all of a sudden at least the sidewalk opened up, that's probably about what you're going to get in terms of being back in business. But a win is a win, and this is the hottest team in the NFC South.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Enjoy a savory sausage McMuffin with a fluffy egg for only $2.50. Be a McDonald's breakfast person. Get the most important deal of the day right after you wake up. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Sammy Hanna, owner-operator of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I tell people this all the time. If I am doing a commercial for somebody, I am vouching for who they are and what they do. You guys do great work, but your customer service stands above all the great work that you do.
Adam, I truly appreciate that testimonial. And yeah, we try to take pride in our customer service and meet and exceed our homeowners' expectations on all their home improvement needs. Obviously, there's many companies out there that do what we do. If you Google home improvements Raleigh, you're going to get many, many companies. But you're not going to find too many companies out there that have a 4.9 rating and over 800 Google reviews and over 7,000 Guild quality reviews. It takes a lot of work on our part to make sure we meet and exceed all your expectations on customer service. And we're going to continue to do so because that's why we've been in business since 1961.
I have used the Aluminum Company. I have not heard anyone that had anything but incredible things to say about all of you, and that is amazing. That's a testimony to how you guys do it. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to hims.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 40 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shield Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000 void in Mississippi.
BetMGM presents Upping the Action with Jamie Foxx.
It's basketball season, baby. When you're playing with BetMGM, you don't need to be 7 feet tall with a 7-foot wingspan to get into the action. Oh, you're betting with the big boys now. I'm talking over points, under assists, and exact rebounds all day. Fadeaway jumper from the left wing hitting nothing but net type of vibe. This basketball season, download the BetMGM app.
And get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. U.S. promotional offers not available in Nevada, New York, Ontario, or Puerto Rico. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Available in the U.S. for New York. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Massachusetts, 1-800-327-5050. Iowa, 1-800-BETS-OFF. Puerto Rico, call 1-800-981-0023. West Virginia, visit www.1800gambler.net. First bet offer for new customers only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Ladder challenge time. I was on the longest streak of consecutive picks that I had been on since we started the ladder challenge until 2 nights ago, or over the weekend, I should say. Lost, but then Monday Night Football, I'm right back, baby. Did you win also, Dennis?
I did. Sidney Crosby all he needed was 2+ shots on goal, so I'm now up to 17-10.
I am up to $11.90 because Matt Stafford easily threw for over 200 yards. He is now continues to be 100% throwing over 200 yards when he has both Puka and Cooper Kupp. He had 293, so it was a no-stress hit. As the leader, for those of you that are new here, we basically every day we place a bet between -500 and -1,000. Those are likely to win bets between like 83% and 90-something% likely to win if you go by the perceived odds. And here's the deal. We try to hit every single day. You have to roll over your winnings. Whoever has the most money at the end of the month is the way to go. Is the winner, I should say. Dennis, as the leader, you get to go first. What are you picking?
You know me. You know I love my good shots on goal.
I do.
You know I love my shots on goal.
I do not have the same success as you do.
I'm going Artemi Panarin, the bread man, New York Rangers, 2+ shots on goal at -525 against the Winnipeg Jets tonight.
All right. -525 is not a super, that's the thin part of our window there. That's not the fat part of our window. You're trying to make a little bit of cash here. You're trying to put me in the dust.
Probably.
Well, you can't do that because I'm also taking a bet that is, I think 525 exactly. I'm going to bring it up here, but since you said it, I want to make sure I am 100% accurate. It is actually -505.
Oh, look at that.
Look at that.
Trying to gain a little ground here.
I was, and -525 is going to make that difficult. So it's an 1190 bet to win 1425. And it's what I call a stinker.
Okay.
Which means I found a stat that tells me I should take this bet, even though, like, the surface level, your gut reaction is going to go, why in the world would you take this bet? I'm taking the Devils +2.5 against the Panthers.
Oh, we're talking a little hockey here, hey?
A little hockey.
Oh, a little alternate spread line. Now you're dabbling into my world. Okay.
There's not much going on a Tuesday. I tried to mess around with some college basketball, but
yeah.
I don't think the props were there enough. I couldn't really find anything that was -500 or more. So anyway, Panthers are literally a top team in the Eastern Conference when it comes to standings. So you may be saying, why are you excited to take the Devils against them? For this reason. It's an advanced analytics pick. The Devils are tops in the league by a decent margin and expected goal differential.
Mm-hmm.
Now, expected goals isn't goals, right? It's a little different there. But it's, I think, a better showing of how you're actually playing, right? Eventually, things are going to come back your way. Florida is in the bottom half of the league in expected goal differential at 18th. So Devils are first. Florida is 18th. Yet they're flipped the other way in the standings. First for Florida, third for the Devils. So I'm actually looking at this saying, I think I'm getting some extra juice here. I'm getting some extra payout because of the surface level idea. And then I'm just going to, close my nose, pretend I don't smell the stink, place the bet, and come back tomorrow with a win. Devils +2.5. And I hate doing this because it's opening me up to stupid things like empty net beats and all those other crazy things. But not much else you can do on a Tuesday. We'll see how it goes. Tomorrow we'll do it again. Now let's go ahead and jump into Copper Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
Copper Drop, the portion of the show where Dennis throws everything he can at me, ideas, guesses, predictions, movements, stats, really anything, and asks me if I'm copping or dropping. Dennis, what do you have?
Cop or drop. Cooper Flagg has 30-plus points
tonight.
And rebounds, assists tonight. Points plus rebounds plus assists for Cooper Flagg, 30-plus tonight against Kentucky.
Can I ask one qualifier question?
Okay.
Does he cramp?
Yes.
If he cramps, I'm taking the under. If he doesn't cramp, which I have to imagine.
That's for you to decide,
I have to imagine every Duke medical everything was figuring out the best concoctions and fluids and foods and everything else to make sure he didn't cramp for this one. So I do think he goes for 30-plus. I mean,
yeah, points, rebounds, assists. We could be literally talking 18, 25 and 5.
18, 8 rebounds and 4.
Yeah,
like that's all you
30.
need there, right?
On our math.
I think he gets there. And I also think he plays a lot more minutes, and I think he has a much higher usage level than he's had in either of their first two games. Just due to the nature of it's Kentucky, it's going to be a more competitive game, and you're not going to be so comfortable in your lead. Tempo might even get raised a little bit, right? When you're up by 30, let's walk it up the court. When you're in a close game and you have quite a few explosive athletes. You want to get them out in transition. So, I think there's just going to be more possessions, and they'll end up winning the game.
It's more intensity.
He'll end up getting the 30+.
More intensity level.
Yep.
In this game. Should be a fun one tonight. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm very much looking forward to it.
Okay, let's actually shift focus over to college football.
Let's do it.
Your thesis statement about NC State and UNC football, how they need to make bowl games. Cop or drop, UNC and NC State both make a bowl game. Cop or drop.
All right, well, let's see here. NC State has the harder path.
Yes.
They have 2 games remaining, need to win one. They play Georgia Tech and UNC.
Both on the road.
We can say this. One of them will be bowl eligible, 100%, because they play each other at the end. Someone's going to win that game.
Yes. And UNC has 3 more games left.
Boston College is looking significantly more beatable than they did at the beginning of the year. I believe they just benched their quarterback, Castellanos. So I'll say Wake, or UNC definitely does. They play Wake, Boston College, and State. They're in. The question becomes, can NC State find a win against Georgia Tech or UNC? I'm going to say they do. So I'm going to say yes. I'm copping. They both end up bowl eligible. Dave Doran, that's his MO, right? He waits till people starts questioning him, then he gets a win. And then as soon as people start believing in him, that's when the losses might pile up a little bit. So with a little bit of faith wavering in NC State, this is where they win a game. They'll surprise people.
Okay, next one here. Cop or drop. Mac Brown, not the coach of UNC football after the season. Cop or drop.
Yeah. I hate doing this, but I don't think he's back next year. But I also think there's going to be a healthy dose of be careful what you wish for. The UNC fan base, and's heard from quite a few of them, appreciative. They like Mac. They love sending like 2 or 3 compliments followed by, but it's time. They love, he's charming. He's great for the program. He can recruit, but it's time. And I don't think if I were Mac Brown, I would hear any of those insults. I would just hear you're saying it's time. So I hate doing this, but I do think this offseason there'll be a change. I've said this before, but I wouldn't be surprised if it goes like this. Regular season game against NC State ends the season. The next day, there's a mutually issued statement from the school and Mac Brown and Mac Brown's family saying that he'll be stepping down this offseason, moving into some kind of an advisory role. He will coach the bowl game, and they'll immediately start looking for their next head coach, and they'll have him hired by the end of that week, and they'll be recruiting and up in the booth, up in the box at the bowl game, and that's how it'll go. Who the next head coaching hire is, I would say it better be offensive mind, high flying, something that can make you as cool as the brand that you have could possibly be.
Okay, let's actually go over to the NFL. Carolina Panthers says 7 more games remaining on their schedule after the bye week. They have the Chiefs, the Buccaneers, the Eagles, the Cowboys, the Cardinals, the Bucs once again, and the Falcons. Cop or drop, the Panthers win 2 more games this season. Cop or drop.
Let's go through them one by one. Kansas City's probably a no.
That's a 99.99% no.
Maybe you get one of the Tampas.
Yeah, I could see that.
Maybe. I'd say a 33% chance you win one of them. Philly probably is a no. Dallas is gettable, especially if they're starting Cooper Flagg or Trey Lance.
Cooper Flagg?
Gosh. Why are there so many Coopers in sports right now?
I don't know.
I'm watching Monday Night Football last night. I'm calling Cooper Cup, Cooper Rush. Now I'm here. I'm calling Cooper Rush, Cooper Flagg. And every time I talk about Cooper Flagg, I let out a couple Cooper Cups. Why are there so many Coopers? It's not that common of a name. I just got a email from my wife's cousin who's getting stuff ready for the holidays. Her son, Cooper. Why are there so many Coopers? Especially if they're starting Cooper Rush or Trey Lance. Arizona, probably not. They're playing some good football. Tampa, we already went over. Atlanta, They're playing some good football. So what is that?
But I also wonder if Atlanta has their spot secured in the playoffs at the end of the year. Are they resting guys? Like, there's also a chance for that too, because Tampa's 4-6 on the year. I mean, Atlanta's kind of got the division wrapped up at that point. They might be, hey, we're secured as the 3rd seed. We can't go up or down.
Yeah, and then what do you get? You get who's the backup in
Michael Penix.
You get Penix. You get Tyler Algier. I don't. Gosh, doesn't that feel a bit? I'm not saying he's this style of player, but the like Alex Smith Mahomes thing, where it's like
There's that.
You got this veteran who's playing really well, maybe not physically what he used to be, and then you have the first round. What pick was Penix? Penix was like 10 and 8th.
8th.
What was and Mahomes was 10.
Yeah,
like that's weirdly like you're mimicking. I'm gonna say drop. I'm gonna say they don't get 2 more. 1 more, I would have been more likely to say yes, but not 2 more.
Yeah, I think Dallas seems gettable more and more every single week.
Dallas does seem gettable, but at the same time, I don't want to get too drinking the Kool-Aid of the Carolina Panthers after a last-second win or last-minute, couple minutes win over the Saints, who are awful, and then a overtime victory, squeak-by victory over the Giants, who are awful. Like, I don't want to suddenly think this is a team that we should expect, great things from. It's better than it was, don't get me wrong, but no, I'm not ready to say two wins.
All right, final one here, cop or drop. Carolina Hurricanes forward Sebastian Aho will finish with 90-plus points this season. Cop or drop?
I'll tell you this. 3 weeks ago, you're getting a firm cop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm changing expectations for Aho. Matter of fact, we can stop cop or drop there, because I want to talk about this a bit more. I don't want to say this loudly because I don't want to rattle anybody. I don't want to scare anybody. How long until we start worrying about Sebastian Aho as a goal scorer? The Canes have played 14 games. That's not a big sample size. So again, I'm not saying it loudly. I'm just calling someone over. Hey, have you heard about this? Because it's not a big sample, but it's also not like it's 17% of the season. I did that math off air. 17% of the season is done, and Sebastian Aho's production is not where we have grown accustomed to it being. His goals per game average is half of his career average. For a career, you're looking at like 0.42, 0.43 per game goals scored. He's at 0.21 right now. The last 5 years, he's been up at 0.46, right? It's like he's well below half over each of the or under each of the last 5 seasons. That's, I don't know, it's something. It's something. But at the same time, he's still averaging almost a point per game, 0.93. It's lower than you want it to be because he's, an all-star and you want him to be over 80 points per game. But it's close, so it's not a disaster. The Canes are winning, so it's definitely not a disaster. So I don't want to be Chicken Little running around saying everything's going poorly. But still, I have this thing where my eyes and the production don't add up. I watched Sebastian Aho play, and he's moving well. He's in the right spots. He's firing passes, setting up teammates. He's taking the shots he's supposed to take. And I think there's a 100-point scorer. But then you ask me if he's going to score 90, and I'm going, I don't think I can take it. My eyes and the production aren't adding up. Right? Being a 90, being a 100-point scorer becomes very difficult if you have stretches like the one you've started this season on. Now, I don't think he's going to be a 0.2 goals per game guy forever. I don't think he's going to shoot 7.5% shooting percentage, which is not very good for the rest of the year. But like season-long production is something you expect out of your superstar. And it's again, we're whispering amongst friends. We're not actually worried yet. But if you go right now and sort the Carolina Hurricanes by shooting percentage, which is just how many of your shots on goal find the back of the net. Like, what's the percentage of that? If you just sort the Carolina Hurricanes right now by percentage, shooting percentage, Aho, Svet, and Jarvis are not in the top 10.
Are we factoring in Tyson Jost into that?
I do that just because it sounds better than saying they're 9, 10, and 12. Like not in the top 10 helps. So really, are they 9th? Are they 10th? They're not in the top portion where you would expect guys making $7.5+ million a year to be. 9.75, almost $10 million if you're Sebastian Aho. They're simply not shooting a very high percentage, which again, I'm not terrible. I want to keep reeling it back in. Martin Necas is making up for it. Jack Roslovic is making up for it. Shane Gostisbehere is making up for it. As of late, Jordan Martinook is making up for it. That's part of being on a really good team. But also, I don't want those guys making up for Jarvis, Seth, and Aho. I want Jarvis, Seth, and Aho making up for those guys when they go cold. Right? The superstars are supposed to raise all boats, not look at the other boats and go, can you throw me a line? I need a tow. I watch Aho, and I think I'm watching a 100-point score. Then I check the thing, and I'm like, well, Martin Necas might be. Right? That
might be by Christmas.
True. If Jarvis is out, which he's dealing with the shoulder injury, what they say, day-to-day.
Upper body.
True. Upper body, day-to-day. Whatever that could possibly mean. If I'm Aho, like, now's your step-up time, right? One of our established, depended on pillars, cornerstones of the franchise is out with an injury. Put that extra on my plate. And everyone else is going, yeah, I think there's room on your plate, buddy. Yeah. I mean, what does he have? 1 regulation goal this year?
Yes, he has 2 overtime goals and also 1 at 4-on-4.
Which, again, I love that he's stepping up in the final minutes of overtime to hit the clutch shot. Love it. But we're 14 games in. He's got 1 regulation goal. He has no power play goals.
Here's something with Sebastian Aho, though, I went back to the last 5 years, including this season. Went to the first 14 games.
All right.
So back in 2020, 2021 season. So really it started in 2021.
You went back how many seasons?
Last 5, including this year.
5. So this is every 5. Game where he's been, well over 0.4 goals per game.
So last 5 seasons.
Gotcha.
He started in 2020, the 2020-2021 season. He started off 14 points in 14 games. He had 5 goals, but he also had a stretch where he only had 1 goal over a 7-game stretch. Go to the next season, so 21-22. 7 goals, 16 points over 14 games, but he also had a stretch where he only had 1 goal over a 7-game stretch.
So I think I get what you're getting at. Like, he starts very slow.
He starts, yeah, and even go back 2 years ago to 22-23, he actually went a stretch of only having 1 goal over an 8-game stretch, and he had 17 points during 14 games. Like, this is just what he does.
Well, first of all, that's interesting. So I would assume somebody has to do some research into his offseason prep program and why does he have to play his way into goal scoring shape? 2, could it be, because this is just me now reacting to those stats on air. Could it be that he is the type, like he's a point guard who's like, let me make sure everybody else gets them going and then I'll worry about me? Possibly. In that case, I'm saying get him some avocado selfishness, right? get him some of those good fats, right? Not all selfishness is bad selfishness. Not all fat is bad fat. Like, make sure you get yourself going. And that would actually explain why, especially, starting in December, we're watching a 100-goal scorer, and then at the end he has 80. And it's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I swear I was watching 100-point producer. It's like, well, yeah, but he actually waits till the second month of the season to start really pouring it on because he's getting everyone else going. Like, I think Aho might need some avocado selfishness. And what I mean by that is, the good selfishness, right? Go get yours.
Yeah, last year he even had it in the first 14 games. There was a 6-game stretch where he did not have a goal either. And he had 15 points in 14 games and was a -1. And he finished last season plus 36. So, it's just kind of – or plus 34, I'm sorry. But this is just kind of – he's just a little bit of a slower starter.
Part of me says, all right, that alleviates my fears. Part of me says, I don't care. There should never be a 6-game stretch where he doesn't score a goal.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just on both sides here. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, but consider a pin put in it, okay? That is officially something we're going to track here a little bit, and maybe there is some magic of week 4 that Aho wakes up.
So he has a hat trick tomorrow?
Yeah, and then he's going to score 4 tomorrow, and then I'm going to be sitting here just going, awesome. The drive, Martinook pretty much did that. Through 12 games, I was like, Martinook hasn't scored. What's going on? He had a goal every 5.8 games last year. Since then, I think he's scored a goal every time I've watched. Not saying every game, saying like every time I look up at the screen, he's scoring a goal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending and Gordon Miller. They're the home of the no closing cost loan. You may hear somewhere else, this rate is lower than Miller's rates. Someone might put that little birdie or little worm in your ear. But that's like an airline, and we've all seen these airlines telling you, our ticket price is cheaper. And you're like, perfect, book it. You get to the next screen. Are you checking a bag? And you're like, yeah, probably. Boom. All right, that's $50. No, you know what? I'll carry on. So you go to the next screen. Carry on. Well, that's $75. What's going on here? Do you want water? That's going to be $10. Do you want to use the bathroom? That's going to be $10. Do you want to not have a 4-day layover in Denver when you're just flying to Orlando? Well, yeah, I don't want that layover. All right, cool. Now that's another $50. And by the end, do you really have a cheaper ticket, or do you just have a cheaper base and then all the costs and fees have pushed it way over the top? That's the same, right? Someone else may say, our rate is lower, but we need this $1,000 and this $1,000 and this out of your pocket and that out of your pocket. You need this in cash for closing costs and fees and Miller Lending is a no closing cost loan. It's a no-cost loan. 0 means 0. The rate they give you, that's all you're paying. That's your monthly payment. And if rates drop in a week, you can do it again. Refinance with no closing costs, no money out of your pocket. Take advantage of that dropping rate and thus lower your monthly payment. Miller Lending can be found online at millerlending.com. That's easy to remember, millerlending.com. Or you can give them a call. The number, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. You can also visit them online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146. Back after this with more of The Drive, including a feedback frenzy. Stick around.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and do you have a late-night craving for in-depth analysis on the Carolina Hurricanes and their latest game, their latest win, their pursuit of the Stanley Cup? Well, I can quench your thirst. I can feed that appetite on the Canes Corner podcast, the morning after edition, which drops the morning after every Hurricanes game. Get it wherever you get your podcast. Brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only.
It's Tim Donnelly for Window Nation. Experts say that heating costs are increasing up to 23% this winter. And if your windows aren't from Window Nation, your money is literally going out the window. They have some of the best insulated windows so your heat stays inside. And right now, get these amazing windows at 50% off. Plus, you could save even more money with 0% interest for 5 years. Hurry, sale ends November 30th. Schedule your fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
She heard an ad for My Computer Career and jumped in feet first.
Taking exams and getting certified in a matter of just months.
Even better, you can work from anywhere.
Wherever you are. If you're on vacation, you can still clock in. I work out of my house in my pajamas.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them.
Launch a new high-demand career in IT or level up with more certifications. Build a career in record time with less money.
I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone. Indeed, it was the right move for me.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, running a few minutes late, and I want to make sure we have time for as many comments from our YouTube comments that you've posted as possible. It's something we call a feedback frenzy. Dennis, what are they saying in the feedback?
All right, this one actually is in regards to the conversation we had about Bryce Young yesterday after the Panthers had a win. This
Second
one
win
comes from
in a row.
Yeah, second win in a row.
I just want to say
That's
it
right.
more times.
This one comes from Bar 6578. I want him to be good, referring to Bryce Young, but he was so bad that we may be overreacting to his, quote, getting better, as he is still not looking like a franchise guy. That being said, he has to start the rest of the season unless they made a decision to go off of him already. Thankfully, now that there is some decent tape to help his trade stock if the Panthers go that way.
Agreed. I mean, nobody, and I mean nobody, is tossing him the keys to the franchise and a long-term extension. They're not even allowed to give him a long-term extension this offseason.
Be after next year.
So right now it's house money. Yeah, I mean, the last 2 weeks they've won 2 games. Has he been, Peyton Brady out there? Like, has he been the best? No, he has not. He's been better than he was. And if he continues to be better than he was and improving, and it's not going to be just linear always up and to the right, but if it's solid, then maybe he's good enough that you can continue building the roster around the quarterback position next year, and maybe waiting for a more advantageous free agency market or keep playing the field in a bunch of different ways. So then whenever you do get your quarterback, they have the full nest, the full incubator already built. That's a possibility. But if it was made to sound like I was anointing him any kind of like he's arrived as this great quarterback, definitely has not happened. But he's been better. I think that's the most important part.
All right, this one comes from @ZFlix on YouTube regarding Bryce Young.
All right.
The rest of the schedule is against actual NFL teams that aren't garbage, so we'll see how Bryce Young's confidence is after the Chiefs game.
You're not wrong. The schedule does get more difficult, but I say this all the time. What do you use a get right game for? To get right. It's you play the schedule you play, and you use the schedule the way it's laid out in front of you. You have a bye week. How do you use the bye week? You have games back-to-back against bad teams. How do you use that? Well, you use it to get your quarterback a little bit more confident. Like there's one throw on Sunday morning, right? Because they were in Germany, where Bryce Young is stepping up and there's pressure in his face. So he actually has to step to his left a little. And while he's doing that, shoulders open. I'm just going to quarterback nerd real hard right now. Shoulders open. He throws it off platform, little baseball arm angle, and it goes out to a receiver running to the right. And it's over the top and caught on the money. Here's what I know about that throw. It was complete against the Giants. Here's what I'm pretty sure I know about that throw. It's complete against 98% of corners in the NFL or defensive backs, guys in coverage in the NFL. So, yeah, build off of that.
right? Maybe you had to complete it first against the Giants, but that execution works elsewhere. But again, I'm not, building the statue of him. I'm not giving him the keys to the franchise. I'm not signing him to an extension. I'm simply saying definitely start the rest of the year.
All right, this one actually regards Cooper Flagg, as we actually mentioned yesterday about how Cooper Flagg dealing with cramps and all that kind of stuff.
Not Cooper Rush, not
Yes.
Cooper Kupp, Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg. All right, this one comes from MGRS 75. The reason Duke players always cramp up early in the season is because it's not much of a secret that Duke introduces steroids into the players' training routines to bulk them up. And cramping is a side effect. I remember Banchero cramping up over games in November 2021. So there it is, Tim. Steroids.
I've never heard that. It's not such a secret. I pay close attention. I've never heard that.
Steroids, Tim.
I also didn't know steroids cause cramping. Is that true?
I have no idea, but steroids.
That's a heck of an accusation. You better have some facts to back that up, random YouTube commenter. I won't even put that out there into the universe. I will say
I just found that funny.
I will say this. Cooper Flagg, body type, that's not the stereotypical steroid user, right? When I'm at Gold's Gym and I see the ones that I have my suspicions about, they aren't out there 6'9", 140 pounds or whatever he is. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's the reason why. Weird accusation.
All right, final one here. We had a conversation about NCAA football losing to Duke yesterday.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did.
Richard said, fire Dave. That being Dave Doran.
Who's Dave?
Fire Dave.
I hear this. I hear it. I've heard it from fans. First of all, if we just want to talk business, I believe that's a hefty buyout. And in a world where you need money for other things other than buying out the coach, that sets you back. So it's going to be more difficult to win with whoever you hire to replace him because you got to come up with the cash to buy him out. Secondly, few rules. Don't grocery shop when you're hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Don't swipe when you're lonely. Don't fire a coach. Don't retire. Don't do anything hasty. Don't do it right after a loss. Do it after a win if you want to do it. And I don't mean like actually fire him after a win, but I'm saying wait till they win a game and see if you want to fire him. If you still have that feeling, then you know it's for real. Go back to after Stanford when you scored 59 points, the most you ever scored against an ACC opponent. If you still felt that way after a game, then it's a feeling you need to address.
I always tell people this as someone who has multiple tattoos. If you want one, have the idea, wait 6 months. If you still want it, then go get it.
It's put in some of those. Like I think the best one is don't grocery shop when you're hungry.
Yeah.
You walk up and down those aisles, you're just throwing things in the cart. You get home and you're like, I don't even like this. But you were hungry, so it looks good.
It sounded good.
So it's that same thing. After a loss, everyone wants to fire their coach. You want to bench the quarterback too. You probably want new defensive play caller. Like you want new everything. After a win, never mind, I love you. You got to wait till your feelings steady out a little bit there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for DraftKings Sportsbook. The NBA is finally back. We've been talking a lot about college basketball. That's back as well. But in the NBA, a new season means a new way to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes from beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing the rebounds? If you think you can answer those questions, get behind your favorite players, get behind those thoughts and feelings with prop bets that you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. If it's your first time, new DraftKings customers can bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets. When you bet just $5 only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/bball. We'll take a break. Next up, the starting five, including how far do you think Miami's going to fall in the college football playoff rankings that come out tonight. Next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I don't think we're being fair to the Eagles. Other teams around the league have lost games that they're not supposed to lose. I have a tough time not giving a team credit that was dealing with all of the Sirianni turmoil. The fact that even a week ago we thought, oh, could he be gone if they lost the Jaguars? I'm just going to give them a little bit more credit than you guys are.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Black Friday sales event is happening right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington, and the savings are huge. Get $13,000 off any new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn, or take advantage of 0% for 72 months on a 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe, Chrysler Pacifica 4xe, Dodge Hornet RT, or a 2024 Jeep Wrangler 4xe. Awesome choices and savings, so get off your keister and get to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. So at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $30 a line when you buy two. That's just $60 a month for 2 unlimited lines. So if you're 50 and up, make the switch and save. Come on, you've earned this. Call 1-888-FREEDOM. or visit consumercellular.com today. Requires 2 lines of service, age validation, and credit approval, subject to system and area limits, taxes, and other fees apply.
You want your team to be number one? Well, come cheer them on at the #1 sports bar at Apex, the Dugout Tavern and Grill, proud member of the official Canes Bar Network. Catch all the NFL and college football games too at the Dugout, with a 16-foot video wall and over 30 other big screen 4K TVs inside and out. Sound on, loud and proud. Best lunch spot too. Weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get a burger cooked to temp with a side and beverage for just $10. The Dugout Tavern and Grill, 1413 Kelly Road in Apex, and thedugouttavern.com.
If you're like most Americans, you have a ton of credit card debt, and you're paying insane interest rates on that debt every month. Same for car loans and personal loans. Stop getting ripped off. Let Loan Pronto consolidate that debt for you at a significantly lower rate using the equity in your home. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Express Equity Line of Credit can get you up to $500,000 so you can consolidate your debt in as fast as 5 days. Their average client saves over $1,000 every month by doing this. Right now is the best time to act. With an Express Equity Line of Credit, you can access up to 90% of your home's equity, usually without an appraisal. Don't put it off. Get your financial house in order for the new year. Call Loan Pronto now to see what you can save. It's a free quote, and there's no credit pull, unlike those other guys. Call now, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
You know what makes every diamond unique and special are his 4 C's. It's cut, clarity, color, and carat weight. But do you know what makes Diamonds Direct special and unique? It's our own 4 C's. The first C, concept. Diamonds Direct has revolutionized jewelry shopping by eliminating middleman markups and giving you direct access to the world's finest diamonds straight from the diamond cutters. The second C, choice. Diamonds Direct's multi-million-dollar selection of precious diamonds is unparalleled. And with over 4,000 designer settings to choose from, you are empowered to make a decision that works for your style and taste. Third C, confidence. With a nationwide price guarantee, a free lifetime warranty, our unique 110% diamond upgrade policy, and our no-pressure, no-risk environment, you have total peace of mind. And the fourth C, community. Every year, we partner with local charities and nonprofits with significant donations of time, money, and jewelry to make this a better place for everyone. Diamonds Direct, official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics, and proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. A colder night ahead. We have a frost advisory roughly from the Triangle area north from 4 to 9 a.m., 38 the low. Cooler day tomorrow. It's morning sunshine becoming partly cloudy in the afternoon, 59. A chilly rain for Thursday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 382 points today to 43,910.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting five. And as always, we start with number 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
The Canes.
Ignatius. Tight turn at the Vegas blue line. He'll keep it in. Looks for Walker. Instead, he'll go across for Kotkaniemi. Now it's Walker. Drive through. They score! Net front from Robinson. Walker got it through.
The Canes scored. The Canes won. The Canes left Vegas victorious.
You're very excited about that win.
I was.
Couldn't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, just so riled up. Dennis, I'm going to look to you for something. Okay. So it was a late night game.
It was.
When they went up 4-0, I have to admit, felt the way the room was going.
Yeah.
Felt that they were able to slam the door. Wasn't worried about my guy Pyotr Kochetkov in goal. And I said, I'd rather be rested on a Tuesday than watch the last however many minutes of this one. So I went to sleep.
I don't blame you.
And then I woke up and it was 5-2, and I was like, actually, there was some things that happened here. So anything of note? Is there anything that we can tangibly take from what became the dotting of the I's and the crossing of the T's at the end of that game?
No, the second goal for Vegas was scored with 13 seconds left. They were on a power play. It really was inconsequential. So, no, it was truly a start-to-finish complete performance for Carolina, which, let's be honest, when Carolina has either a bad period or a bad game, they respond.
They do.
Which is the mark of a really, really good team.
Yes, it's the mark of a team that like good is I don't know if that's the really, really good team. I don't know if that's the way to put it, because I've seen teams that are really good, like really talented, goal scorers, exciting, like they have it all, and they win a bunch, right? They can go be a 100-plus point team, but they're streaky. I think like battle tested might be more the word. There's something about the Canes where it feels like they don't ride the roller coaster as high and low, right? They do have their highs and lows, don't get me wrong. I mean, Colorado's second period, but it's contained. They compartmentalize very well. And I don't, I still think if they run up against a team that is tremendously physical, there's going to be things that they have to play above their ability. And they don't, I've said this. I don't know who on their team is somebody that like you would hate to see on the other team. There's just a lot of like, oh, he's a nice guy, he's a good player. So I think that's still there. And I don't know if this mental edge they have helps, but gosh, it's got to be a relief for Rod Brind'Amour to know that he can watch his team struggle and he can go to bed that night knowing we'll be all right next game, right? Coaches a lot of times watch your team struggle and they go to bed that night with, how do I fix it? Or what do I have to tell them to flush that or learn from that and move on to the next? And I have to push the right buttons and pull the right strings. Rod Brind'Amour can look at this team and go, we can have an off night, and I'm not even, like, my heart rate isn't even going to go up until we have like 2 or 3 of them in a row because they've shown the ability to autocorrect. It's like the first time you get a car that has the little thing where, like, if you get too close to the lane, it jumps back on you, and you're like, whoa, what the heck is that? At first, you don't, or better idea, the rear view backup cam.
Mm-hmm.
The car I have now is the first one that's ever had the backup cam.
Yeah, I've never had it before.
Like when you first get it, you're like, I don't need or want that. I'm a great driver. You throw your hand on the passenger seat, you look over your shoulder, you whip it back when you're backing into a parking spot. Like 3 months later, you're like, I'm paying 100%. This is a video game. I'm paying 100% of my attention to the little backup camera up here. I think Rod Brind'Amour is like, No, I'm going to check. I'm going to make sure. They got to be good. They played poor against Colorado. Let me make sure we're ready to go against Vegas. And he's like, oh, look, this is convenient. We can just autocorrect. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Slavin will get him. Oh, look at this. Burnsy will get him. It's just got to be a great feeling. And it's got to be a great feeling. Thank you to the Canes. If you're going to have to start a game that late, put it away early so I can go to sleep. Their first trip out west, they were taking them to the wire. They were making us stay up late. I appreciate the rest. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
On 3rd and goal, just inside the 2. Here's the snap. The give to Thomas, cuts right. He's in! Touchdown!
SMU won that one. Which I guess now we're an SMU show. We're all about the Mustangs.
Let's go, Mustangs.
Pony Express
Let's
around
go.
here.
Go Stangs.
Go Stangs. College football playoff rankings came out last week. They will be updated and released this evening, about 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock or so, yeah.
I have 2 questions. One is, how far does Miami fall? Miami lost to Georgia Tech. They were way up there. They were number 4 in the previous college football playoff rankings. And then the other question is, where does SMU stand? SMU was 13th. They would have had to get to 11th to guarantee their spot, like if it were to end at that point. Miami's 4th. They lose to Georgia Tech. Do they fall out of the top 12 is a question. I don't think they do. I think they fall to probably 9 or 10. Georgia also lost. They were number 3. I think they fall 7 or 8, and I think there's a space between them and Miami. So SMU, I don't believe, has a chance of jumping into the top 12. I'm worried about the other direction because Ole Miss was down there in the teens. They beat Georgia. Do they now jump SMU and make it even more difficult for the ACC to have 2 teams vying for a college football playoff spot? It's not just can Miami hold on, it's does SMU get left further in the dust despite, I don't even think they played this week. So they were just chilling at home watching and their spot maybe knocked down a few pegs. And then this is the last thing I want to hear. Heather Dinich, college football reporter, was on with Pat McAfee, ESPN. Heather Dinich is ESPN college football reporter. And she says not to count out a 3-loss SEC team.
I think it is, even as you continue to see these teams with 2 losses. And as much as people keep throwing out the word elimination games every week, I would really hesitate to eliminate a 3-loss SEC team. And that includes if Georgia loses to Tennessee. Yes, I just said that. And here's why. Because in the first 10 years of the college football playoff, there have been 13 3-loss teams ranked in the selection committee's top 10 on selection day. So this has happened before. And if history repeats itself, then you could potentially see a 3-loss SEC team in, but they're not all created equal. Let me make that clear.
Amen.
All 3-loss SEC teams are not created equal. If Ole Miss loses a 3rd game, they're done. LSU, they're going to be way down at the bottom of the barrel right now. Georgia, though, has one of the toughest schedules in the country.
We're already justifying 3 losses. SMU has 1, and it's to a good team.
Yeah,
and they're not in the top 12 right now.
Yeah.
And we're already talking, how can we get a 3-loss SEC team in? I don't like the way these conversations are going. It feels like you're setting me up for something. I don't like the way these conversations are going. Let's go Stangs. Number 3.
Right now is right now. We took this loss. We have to learn from it. We have this little bit of time tonight and tomorrow, and then from there we're on to Green Bay, and we got to find ways to do it. Simple as that.
History is repeating itself. That was Caleb Williams, by the way, number 1 overall draft pick, rookie quarterback for the Chicago Bears. This story I'm about to tell you is one of the things that frustrates me the absolute most about
the NFL and pro sports in general. Last year, Bryce Young. We're very aware of the timeline by now. Number 1 overall pick goes to the Carolina Panthers. Partway through his rookie year, the offensive play caller changes. It goes from Frank Reich to a gentleman by the name of Thomas Brown.
That was 6 games in.
6 games in. Thomas Brown takes over the play calling. I say this with full confidence. It did not get better. It then went back to Frank Reich.
Yep.
And then went back to Thomas Brown.
Yep.
Many would say that might be one of the best reasons to give Bryce a little bit of a pass for that first year, because when you have 3 play caller changes from one guy to the next, from that guy back to the first, from that guy back to the second, that's unbelievably difficult to deal with when you're trying to learn how to play in the NFL while that's going on. So now fast forward to this year, Caleb Williams, drafted first overall by the Chicago Bears, starts from the beginning, and partway through his rookie year, they just fired the offensive coordinator and play caller of the Chicago Bears, Shane Waldron. And who do they promote to be the offensive play caller and offensive coordinator for the Chicago Bears? The very same Thomas Brown from last year. Now, I have sayings, I have cliches, we all have them, but they're cliches and sayings for a reason. What is the best indicator of past results? Sorry, what is the best indicator of future results? I kind of gave that one away, didn't I? Past results. If you watch a basketball team on an AAU youth sports weekend win 10 games in a row, what do you think is most likely to happen in Game 11? Knowing nothing else, not who they're playing, just knowing, hey, I've watched this team play 10 times. They've won 10 times. I'm going to pick them to win. If you watch a quarterback's coach, if you watch a play caller take over for a first overall pick and not improve his situation at all, maybe even regress that situation, what would you think would happen if you take a first overall pick and gave that same person the keys to a different first overall pick that's struggling? Indicator of future results, past results. This is insane. It's crazy. Do you know who? Let me just. The reason why this is so frustrating is because I know how hard it is to get the opportunities to call plays in the NFL. I have friends that are grinding, and I'm telling you, like, to make it into the coaching world, the grind is unreal.
It sucks.
And when somebody has the opportunity and they don't take advantage of it, I think they should at least have to go back to the drawing board for a little bit, learn something, be involved in another successful offense, see someone else's opinion before being given that opportunity again, when I know there are a ton of talented minds that would do heinous things for that opportunity. Like Thomas Brown, you had your chance to turn around a first overall pick. Give it a couple years before somebody by the way, I'm not blaming Thomas Brown. If someone wants to give you the keys, you take the car. But I'm saying from the Bears' perspective, like, there's nobody else out there that you could have thought of. We have Adam Schefter here on audio talking about how Caleb Williams looks like Bryce Young.
The troubling part here is that when you see Caleb on the sideline, like flashed him a couple times, to me he looks a little bit like Bryce Young looked at the start of the season. He looks a little bit like overwhelmed and shell-shocked of what's going on. And so they're at a point now with this team struggling. And ultimately, the organization has to figure out what is the best course of action for this franchise to move forward and to protect everybody. Like, you've got a great quarterback in Caleb Williams, who right now is regressing and getting beat up and starting to look like some of these other quarterbacks have looked.
Here's the thing. I have a stat here from Fantasy Points Data. Yes, it's a fantasy, but this is not fantasy related. I'm not telling you about my fantasy team. Since 2021, there have been 106 examples of a player with 250 or more pass attempts in a season. 106. The catchable throw rate minus screens. Okay, so take away the gimmies. The percentage of your throws that are catchable. Caleb Williams this year is 106. He is 106th out of 106 seasons in catchable throw rate at 63.6. Do you know who was number 105? Just above him? Bryce Young last season. There is almost nothing in common with the Bryce Young and the Caleb Williams seasons, right? There's different division, different wide receivers, different offensive line, different everything. The only similarity is Thomas Brown's kicking around there. So give him more opportunity. I don't get it. That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the 2. Right now, Jarvis in on a break, and he scores! Oh, my goodness! Undresses DeCord and goes top cheddar on the backhand. 3-1 Carolina.
Yeah, I was just frustrated and upset in that previous one. So let's bring up Seth Jarvis's injury as number 2. Dennis, do we have any details on Seth Jarvis and what might be ailing him and how long he might be out?
Upper body day-to-day. That's all we know.
I very much enjoy covering the Carolina Hurricanes. I very much hate how little detail we get about injuries. It just... Is this a boo-boo and he's just going to be out for the road trip and a little bit of rest, ice and elevation, get him some ibuprofen? Or is this, hey, we should start reshuffling lines and figuring out ways to get his production from elsewhere because he's going to be out a long time? I don't know. So I feel like I'm somewhere between, friend of the show was on the show just a couple weeks ago, like Lewis Black anger, where I'm like, and Seth Jarvis isn't even playing. And also like, chill, relax, like, nah, it's nothing. We're just going to hang out. Like, I'm somewhere between there on this news. But what I do know is the Canes are more fun to watch when Seth Jarvis plays.
Sure. We know the guy's a tough dude.
I actually think they probably need to put up guardrails for that.
That might be the reason. Hey, look, like, go sit.
Yeah.
Just go sit down. We'll be fine.
Nowadays, it's become a thing for concussions. But when I was playing, those kids, or those players in college, you took their helmet. Like if the trainer said like, oh, your ankle, you can't play, sorry, they would literally take your helmet so you couldn't go sneak onto the field and keep playing. Nowadays, if you don't have your helmet, usually that means there's a concussion or some kind of head, you're not allowed to play. But Seth Jarvis would definitely be a, give me your helmet. Nope, your shoulder, give me your helmet. You're not going out there and playing one-handed. You pretty much did that all last season. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
To the left to Cooper Flagg. Low with the dribble into the paint. Cooper left it down low for Malawach. Goes up with the right hand and scores. What a dish inside for Cooper Flagg.
Duke, Kentucky tonight. You just heard the highlight there from Cooper Flagg and Kamen Malawach. This is the true debut of Duke's youngsters. The first 2 games, right? You played against Maine. You played against Army. Cool games for different reasons, right? And by the way, Duke announced next year on Veterans Day, they're going to be playing at West Point, which is a very cool game and very cool whole deal there. And that is something I talked about earlier, which is using your non-conference cupcake games to create experiences for your players. They did it perfectly. Maine was that for Cooper Flagg. Grew up a Maine fan. They played him. Cool. Now it's Duke versus Kentucky. Up to this point, Cooper Flagg has been the star, right? That's who everyone wants to see. Guess what, Cooper? I'm just going to call him all Cooper now. I'm not going to call him Cooper Kupp, Cooper Flagg, Cooper Rush. I'm just call him Cooper, and you guys can use context clues to figure out which one I'm talking about. Guess what, Cooper? If you didn't play in this game, everybody's still watching. Everybody may have watched Duke Maine because they want to get the first glimpse of Cooper Flagg. Everybody may have watched the exhibition game because I want to see what this freshman's got. Duke Kentucky is a star in its own right. This is one where you have to go now earn the eyeballs. If you want people watching you, if you want people talking about you after this game, you have to go do something special. You have to go dunk on somebody. You have to go score 23 on 11 shots. You have to go do something. And I'm looking forward to seeing what Con Knipple, what Kaman Malawash, what even Harrison Evans, if they get off the bench, what the transfers can do. I want to see what Caleb Foster can do. People forget Caleb Foster was a key rotational player of Duke last year, but got hurt and didn't play in any of the postseason, didn't play in the Elite Eight, didn't he had an ankle injury that was pretty serious, but he's looked spry through the first couple of games. I want to see what he can do in a game like this. Kentucky, who we talked about earlier, their top 7 scorers are juniors and seniors, mostly out of the transfer portal. This is not the normal Kentucky team you're used to seeing. This is not a team that's going to go out in the second round of the NCAA tournament and then have 4 guys in the first round of the draft. That's the John Calipari way. This is a team coached by Mark Pope, who's a kind of unusual choice for a Kentucky head coach who is taking over and trying to do it a little bit differently. And then there's the Duke Kentucky of it, right? They're going to play the Leitner shot. You know they are. You're going to get the olds. And by the way, I think Duke has won like 8 of the last 10 against Kentucky. Like, they've been better, but it's going to be Duke Kentucky, and you're going to have both sides of the coin every time they play just by the nature of the programs that they are.
Duke Kentucky in Atlanta. Woo.
Do you need your 40 seconds to rant on the fact that this game is being played in Atlanta?
I need 20.
All right, go ahead.
Duke, Kentucky needs to be on a college campus, not in some other city that has zero association with either of those schools. Miss me with a neutral site crap, college basketball coaches. Play games on campus. Grow a pair.
What is it being played in, like the Falcons arena or something like that?
It's wherever the Hawks play.
Okay, so it's probably a money thing. They need some place with more seats. I would assume that's the deal.
I guess, but put these games on college campuses. Come on.
I agree with that. I just think the atmosphere is worth it. Gosh, can you imagine Kentucky Duke on one of the college campuses this early in the season?
I think fans deserve it. The sport deserves it. Do better for your sport.
Shout out to UNC and Kansas. They're doing it on campus.
Props to them.
Should we make a pick quick?
Sure.
I got Duke by 7.
Okay. I would say Duke by 4.
Duke by 7, and I actually think it's probably
76-72.
I think it's probably 10 most of the second half, and it closes a little bit at the end. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. What if you could be debt-free by this January? I'm talking about all that high-interest debt. Pay off all your credit cards, your car loans, consolidate everything into one lower payment. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto's got rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this with Loan Pronto save on average $850 a month. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity lines of credit. So call now. Get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment till 2025. LoanPronto.com, 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. Free rate quote now, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We need numbers game contestants because I have this gift card, and it is burning a hole in my pocket. I got to give it to somebody. It's a $25 gift card to Sharky's. Back-to-back-to-back-to-back wins for best wings in the Triangle, voted best sports bar, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world, Sharky's. If you want to win the gift card, you have to call in now. The number to call, 919-860-5326. Once you get on, we need 2 contestants. The winner will get the gift card. Numbers game is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
The Adam Gold Show.
More than the Panthers winning, I was just excited that Bryce Young looked like a quarterback who could play in the league. Now let's build on that. It doesn't do anybody any good to pretend that Bryce isn't going to be the quarterback. He has to be the starter in Germany. I don't get why we decide, well, we're just going to play coy. Who is that serving? Put him in the game, let him go.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
This holiday season, are you ready for the feast? The feast for your eyes, that is. With 8K TV from Soundstation and Security. Upgrade that home theater experience for all those direct-to-streaming, big-screen blockbusters with 8K TV from Soundstation and Security. Can't decide which one to get? Soundstation and Security has gift cards in any denomination. This holiday, shop Soundstation and Security with 2 locations in downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Morning people wake up for peace and quiet. McDonald's breakfast people, we wake up for the sweet rush of getting that warm, delicious breakfast right before it ends.
Enjoy a savory sausage McMuffin with a fluffy egg for only $2.50. Be a McDonald's breakfast person. Get the most important deal of the day right after you wake up. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
To understand what makes Diamonds Direct different, you have to understand our history. It goes back 60 years to a renowned diamond cutter overseas. From there came years of diamond cutting, manufacturing and wholesaling, supplying exquisite fine diamonds only to high-end jewelers. Then eventually the wholesalers started selling direct to the public, and that started a revolution. Today, we are a global diamond powerhouse with hundreds of thousands of customers and an impeccable reputation. But our core values are the same as always. Our diamonds are the highest quality cut by the best craftsmen. Our prices are the most compelling. Our selection is staggering. Our warranties and guarantees are rock solid. And our people are laser focused on helping you find the diamond of your dreams. We invite you to experience a jewelry shopping experience unlike any other. Showroom hours, directions, and more online at DiamondsDirect.com. Official jeweler of the Carolina Hurricanes and proud sponsor of NC State Athletics. And proud to call the Triangle home. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Matthew in Raleigh, and we have Brian, who is also in Raleigh, somewhere out there in his car. We have a Sharky's gift card to give away, and then that will go to the winner of the numbers game. As always, we have to ask a question, and then we see who goes first. So we'll start with Matthew in Raleigh. It's a Sharky's gift card. Always going to be the Wings question. We need the full spread, and what I mean by that is when we get wings, are we what heat are we talking? What sauce are we talking? Are we going celery, carrots? Are we going blue cheese ranch? What drink are we having? To paint the picture for us a little bit on your ideal wing setup.
All right. Yeah, my ideal wing setup, it's got to be wings, bone in,
Good
hot,
start.
Carrots and ranch, and then a nice cherry Coke on the side.
Yep, he
For
did
an
say.
elite meal.
Okay, cool. We got you. And I was talking over you, but you said hot when I'm not sure if Dennis heard that, so I'll pass that along. That's Matthew in Raleigh. We go to Brian in the car. Brian, same question to you. Give us the full setup on your wings. What sauce? How hot? Are we going ranch, blue cheese, the drink? Give us the full rundown.
You got to go blue cheese and celery, absolutely. Barbecue for the kids.
hot wings for the adults.
All right, there you go. Dennis, that's the info you got. Those are the answers. Which one are we rolling with?
Let's see. These aren't my choices. That's the thing for me. Like, I generally don't like hot wings. Hot just doesn't
so
really
you're
do it
seeing
for
with
me.
the kids. You're in the barbecue with the kids.
Garlic Parmesan is my go-to, actually. But the uniqueness of the cherry Coke.
Oh, you like that?
That separates it for me. Like,
good
okay,
detail.
like that's an interesting detail. I'm going to go with I'm going to go with Matthew on this one, simply based off the cherry Coke.
All right,
Just a
Brian.
little something unique.
Brian, don't worry. You will have your chance. So go ahead and stay on the line. Matthew and Raleigh, are you ready to pick your category?
Ready to roll.
All right, the categories are NFL players born in D.C., NFL players that are all left-handed, NBA players, Wizards of the last 20 years, or NHL players, Hurricanes only.
I'll do Hurricanes and Whalers.
All right. The way this works, I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Are there any questions before we get started?
No, I think I'm good.
All right. The way this works, once you hear the horn, that'll mean your time has started. Yes, Barry Kokaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes.
82.
Correct. Jack Roslovic, Carolina Hurricanes.
96.
Correct. Peter Mrazek, Carolina Hurricanes.
34.
Correct. Ryan Beta, Carolina Hurricanes.
43.
Incorrect. Dave Tanabe, Carolina Hurricanes.
45.
Correct. Ryan Beta, Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Correct. That's a perfect score, ladies and gentlemen.
That was a guess.
That was a... Wait, the Ryan Beta, was that truly like a 1 out of 100 guess?
Yeah, because I guessed in the 40s first try. I had no idea.
Okay, well, this is really going to blow your mind then, because we would have accepted 16, 18, or 47. So I thought you were hunting for the 47, and then you just randomly chose 18, which is fantastic. We are on fire,
lucky.
by the way. In the last 8 shows, we have 4 perfect.
Yeah, 4 now.
Perfect scores. Goodness gracious. Congratulations. Stay on the line. How much time was that, Dennis?
26 seconds.
26 seconds. So we have seen faster scores, so it is possible. We'll go to Brian in the car. Brian, are you there?
I am.
All right. The gauntlet has been laid down for you. It's a tough road, but I have confidence in you. Are you ready to pick a category?
Well, that makes one of us, yes.
All right.
Left-handed NFL
All right, you remember the categories. You're prepared. I'm getting more confident by the second. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need all 5 in less than 26 seconds for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Michael Vick, Philadelphia Eagles.
7.
Correct. Des Bryant, Dallas Cowboys.
88.
Correct. Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins.
10.
Incorrect. Cole Kmet, Chicago Bears.
82.
Incorrect. Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins.
11.
Incorrect. Cole Kmet, Chicago Bears.
Pass.
Tim Tebow, Denver Broncos.
8.
Incorrect. Tua Tagovailoa, Miami Dolphins. Yeah, it was a tough gauntlet laid out for you. You tried valiantly, came up a little bit short. Tua, number 1 with the Dolphins.
Number 1.
Cole Kmet, 85.
So much fun.
Cole Kmet, 85 with the Bears, and Tim Tebow, 15 with the Broncos. I heard you say fun. Hopefully you had some, even though you didn't get a chance to win.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And that means Matthew and Raleigh. Perfect score, NHL Hurricanes only category. Congratulations, you are the winner.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
I bet you will never forget that Ryan Beta wore number 18 now, because you
He's my new favorite player.
pulled it out of thin air. That's pretty good showing. Go ahead and stay on the line. Dennis will make sure you get your Sharkies gift card, but 5 out of 5 is pretty darn good. Pretty darn good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We are... Like, this is, I've told this story before, but I'm going to have to tell it again. We've had 4 perfect scores in the last 8 shows. There's been times where we go, actually, I have some of the stats here. Our longest time between perfect 5s was 52 days. We've gone a month and 2/3 without having a perfect score. We've had 4 in the last 8 days.
We may have to start. You may be getting too smart for us. We may have to start getting more difficult. Right? It's the old PR day conundrum that I've talked about, which is one time I was playing golf with 3 buddies. We all hit our personal record, all of us. Instead of thinking, that course was probably too easy, we all just celebrated the heck out of it as if we played the best golf we had ever played. 4 perfect scores in the last 8 shows. We could just celebrate it, or we could say maybe we need to make the course a little harder for you. Everybody out there getting them right too often. But hey, congratulations. And by the way, I don't know what it is. Hockey and baseball for me are easily the 2 most difficult because I just feel like I don't look for numbers. And in basketball and football, I think when I'm watching, I'm checking for numbers. But in hockey, it's maybe moving too quick. And in baseball, you just recognize them because it's such a slow-moving sport. But hey, hockey is impressive. Nailed it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. And Bailey's Fine Jewelry, but really the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh, which is home to. Inside the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop, you walk in Bailey's, you turn right all the way in the corner. Inside Fox and Bailey, it's home to the largest pre-owned and vintage Rolex selection in the state of North Carolina. And that means all of the iconic dials and bezels that you're looking for, the Submariners, the Explorers, the Oyster Perpetuals. These are, for timepiece fans out there, what Rolex I'm talking about. The colors, the ones with nicknames, the Batmans, the Clark Kents, the everything else, they are, depending on when you're there, right, because it's pre-owned and vintage. So I would stop out often if you are looking for a particular piece, because they may be there tomorrow and not there today, be there today and not there tomorrow. But you can sign up for wait lists and things like that. They can help you track down a special piece if that's what you're looking for. But as you know, and I've heard this a bunch of times about Rolexes, most watches help you tell time. Rolexes tell everyone how much your time is worth. It's a statement, right? When you wear it on the wrist, you feel confident, and they have a whole bunch of options at the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. When you stop by, say hi to Mickey, the timepiece manager. Make sure they know you heard about it right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break right here, but when we come back, Coach K, Coach Krzyzewski, not coaching every day, more time to think about the bigger picture. He's got an idea to maybe help fix the future business of college sports and college basketball. We play that audio for you next.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. Now that the Fed has finally begun their path of rate cuts, trying to decide when to finance becomes very challenging. Do I lock now? Do I wait? At Miller Lending, we offer a solution to the question of timing with our popular no closing costs program. With no fees charged or added to your loan amount, you simply close on today's rates free of charge and refinance any time rates fall. Having done our first no-cost loan all the way back in 1987, we've now funded over $10 billion in no-cost mortgages, saving our customers thousands of dollars in needless fees. Lately, we've seen a trend of even higher closing costs as borrowers chase rates only to see them drop considerably 4 months later. So whether you're purchasing a new home or simply refinancing the home you're in, why not call Miller Lending and say goodbye to closing costs forever? 919-447-3377 or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Hey girl, haven't seen you downtown lately.
Nope, sticking to our go-to places.
You mean like Sharky's?
Well, we love our Sharkies. Best wings and gumbo on the planet. But we never miss the $5 sangrias on Wednesdays at the new Salt and Lime. And Mexican pints on Thursdays for $3.
You know my boy loves the House of Hops. No better selection of craft beer in the state. Loves their specials, their food trucks, and you know I love my wine. They have a wonderful selection.
And have I told you about our new takeout spot, Che Empanadas? It's right next to Sharky's. They have 20 different types of authentic Argentinian empanadas, and they are incredible, especially the breakfast ones. You gotta try it.
Sounds perfect. And how awesome is it that they're so close to each other?
Yes.
Give them a try. Che Empanadas, House of Hops, Salt and Lime, and Sharky's. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from each other off Durham Road, Glenwood, and Grove Barton.
Attention Canes fans, your Carolina Hurricanes are calling on you to bring the energy to Lenovo Center. Get ready to immerse yourself in the electrifying atmosphere of the loudest house in the NHL. Join us in the stands to witness thrilling goals, epic hits, and be a part of the heart-pounding action. Don't miss out as we continue our quest for the cup. From the first puck drop to the final horn, there's nonstop excitement at every Carolina Hurricanes game. Secure your tickets now at hurricanes.com/tickets. Let's go Canes.
Adam Golden Studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. When I say everything for the exterior of your home, I mean it. So tell me everything that you have for the exterior of my home.
There's so many things I can't even remember the entire list. You know,
Good luck.
Thanks for the test here. But windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, gutter guards, railings, you name it. We have the exterior home improvement you're looking for. The main thing is we're a one-stop shop, right? So you don't have to call 2 or 3 different contractors if you need your roof done and you need your windows done. You can call one company and have it all done.
I like that. French doors.
French doors.
I like French doors. I can't speak French, but I like French doors. Can I tell you, back in the day, you guys did French doors and every window in a home I used to own.
Well, thank you for your business.
It was incredible. Can I also tell you that it was done in like 2 days? Is that even possible?
It is possible.
How do you guys do work that fast?
We're good.
You're
We're
fast.
good.
That's Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. They do the best work in the industry and the best customer service in the industry as well. AluminumCompany.com.
Shop early, save big, all month long during Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Right now, get select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at just $59.98. Don't wait to save. Shop these deals today, in-store or online, because Lowe's knows deals. Discount taken at time of purchase while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Welcome to Staples.
Help! My family's in for the holidays and I need gift ideas.
That's why we're here. Staples has amazing deals on everything you need. Photo gifts, laptops, and gaming systems. Even custom holiday cards and shipping solutions to send gifts to the family that can't make it.
Perfect! Have anything for Uncle Frank? I love him, but the guy is never quiet.
Noise-canceling headphones. For you.
You get it.
Unwrap huge holiday savings at Staples. And right now at Staples, save up to $350 on select computers. Ends 11/16, in-store only.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Fixing college sports has become the new, fixing baseball. Or it's become the new, unsolvable, unarguable, just if you want to kill an hour and you want to debate with your friends, start throwing out ideas to fix college sports. But here's the deal. When somebody like Mike Krzyzewski starts playing the game, starts throwing here's how you do it, you perk your ears up a little bit more than your buddy from high school when they start talking about it. So Coach K was on his Sirius XM show, and he brought up a way that he thinks college basketball could improve just the health of the business moving forward, and this is what he had to say.
You need leadership and a governing structure that will be agile, adaptable, and stay current and have the vision to be creative in promoting your product and the vision of how our sport will look a year from now, 5 years from now. Have a 5-year plan and all that. Run it like a damn business, man. That's what football's doing, and our sport can be. What elevates a sport? How much money they make. That's what's elevated football. Yeah. They make a lot of money. Yeah. And let's figure out how college basketball can be run like a business. Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm here for it. I'm listening. Coach K, it's a good point. I do want to add some context. One, this is not a Hail Mary situation, right? This is not we're gonna lose, everything's gonna go poorly unless. I was reading an article recently during the 2023-2024 season, Disney-owned networks, meaning ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, drew an average of 554,000 viewers over 350, more than 350, over 350 college basketball games, which was up 6% from 2021-2022. In 2024, FS1 had its best men's college basketball season yet, with a 17% bump in viewership over the previous season. College basketball is not drowning. It is not in need of saving, right? It is healthy. More people are watching it. More people are talking about it. I actually think with some of the stuff going on in professional sports, some of the stuff going on in college football, people look to basketball as like the true beacon of like the college sports experience, even if they're dealing with the same NIL stuff that football is. So I don't think it is like act today or college basketball is dead. However, I love thinking about how to be better in the future before you absolutely need to. I love thinking about this is how we thrive before you're drowning, right? Putting a commissioner in place, putting the business person in a position of power to run college basketball is smart, but it is a risk. I say this every single time because I hear the need for like a college football czar, a college basketball commissioner, somebody to unite the interests of everybody and you know, run the show. Putting a commissioner, a czar, a president of basketball, whatever you want to call it, a leader of your sport is only as great as that commissioner is. A bad commissioner is awful for the sport. A commissioner that comes in with a set of skills that doesn't immediately translate to the needs of the sport is bad. So I am all in on let's go find the business conglomerate. Let's go find the people that are going to squeeze every last dime out of the college basketball money fruit, right? You get every last squeeze of juice. I'm for it. But then we have, and by we, I mean whatever the hiring committee is, probably somebody from the NCAA, probably somebody like Coach K, probably a bunch of chancellors and presidents. They have then maybe the most important decision in college basketball history staring them in the face, which is who do you turn that power over to? Because and like, right, the NFL, you have the commissioner. The commissioner is really a front. It's a meat shield for the 32 owners, right? The most powerful people are the owners in the NFL. Same is true in most professional sports. College sports would be different because, you know, it's Jerry Jones can call up 15 of his buddies and get a majority of ownership pretty darn quickly. You can't call up like 58 of the college chancellors across the country and get a majority. Like the commissioner is going to have a ton of power, or the central business center is going to have a ton of power. And you know what they say about power. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. You just don't want anyone there that is going to be out for me rather than what's best for the sport. Do you know what I think would be the hardest part? Finding somebody truly with no allegiances. Like, I think it's kind of easy to find like a commissioner for the NBA. You didn't grow up a diehard fan of any team, or you didn't come up in the organization of any one team. Who doesn't have at least some kind of regional allegiance to a football conference or a basketball team or something? It's like, you didn't go to school? Oh, you did. But you went to a school that didn't have a basketball program? Man, there's not many of those. It's I don't know, it's fascinating, but the business element of college basketball is thriving right now. It could be thriving a lot better, and it will continue to thrive a lot better. And schools like Duke and UNC are going to be right at the forefront when it comes to commercialization of the sport. That's going to be it. We've talked about this with football. USC, you can pay like $1,600 and run out of the tunnel with the USC football team, which kind of backfired. I don't think it did, but a Penn State fan paid the $16 and ran out with USC when they were playing Penn State, and everyone acted like the Penn State guy won. And I'm going, you just gave $1,600 to the other team. You think you're the winner here? They just got your money to give to a recruit or to fly somebody somewhere or whatever. In college basketball, which schools do you think would get the most money if they auctioned it off to jog out with the starting lineups in a home game? I think UNC and Duke would be up there. So if it's all about business, those two programs are going to be cashing checks. And we're going to start seeing Cooper Flagg in like New Balance commercials and Gatorade commercials and everything else. And RJ Davis, I'm sure, will be selling something because they're two of the faces of college sports. I can hear it right now. I can hear it because my parents will say it. I know it kind of stinks to talk this much about college basketball as if it is a business, because for 100 years the facade was that, they're out there just playing for the love of the game and they love their alma mater. They just want to sing the fight song after wins. When going back decades and decades and decades, it may not have been how much money can you put in my pocket right now or how much can I turn this into a shoe deal, but it was, can we get a couple $100 handshakes? And it was, how quickly can you get me to the NBA and making a bunch of money? Like, it's always been a business. It's just now it's a business a little bit earlier. And even somebody like Coach K, who is as traditional as it comes, even he's saying, like, no, let's start treating this thing like a business.
I think it's needed for college basketball to continue to make sure they put themselves in the spotlight in some way, shape, or form. Because we all know football dominates. We all get that. But that doesn't mean that part of the space can't be for college basketball.
I think basketball matters.
It has to.
I think there's certain secret sauce elements that basketball has that football doesn't. I think just the nature of their ability to play 3 games a week, having premier games on Tuesday,
tonight,
is not something that football can realistically do. There's things I'm not worried about basketball, but if we want to talk about making it better, I am completely ready to make it better.
Remember when Super Tuesday was a thing? College basketball. Oh, it's Big Monday. The Super Tuesday. Or it was like ACC Tuesday or ACC Wednesday, whatever it was. It was like you knew exactly what you're getting. Hey, high-profile matchup, ACC game.
We could have worked on the names a little bit.
But they were fine.
I like the idea. Like, and bring them back. Why not?
Yeah.
Bring them back. I saw the article, Adam Gold retweeted it. You can check it on Twitter. Switching non-conference and conference, just the order. Flip it. I don't know. I'm open to anything. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Overdrive is coming up next, talking about that awesome Canes win that happened late at night last night in Vegas. And then there will be some Duke, Kentucky talk ahead of that game tonight, which you can hear on Buzz, I believe. So enjoy that. We'll be back tomorrow with 3. Thank you to Dennis for keeping us up and running. Follow our YouTube page, 99.9 The Fan. Subscribe. Until tomorrow, have a great night, everybody.
Having Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
I don't think we're being fair to the Eagles. Other teams around the league have lost games that they're not supposed to lose. I have a tough time not giving a team credit that was dealing with all of the Sirianni turmoil. The fact that even a week ago we thought, could he be gone if they lost the Jaguars? I'm just going to give them a little bit more credit than you guys are.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
It's bow time.